How's everybody doing? The special council meeting for Tuesday, July 29th, 2025 is called to order at 6:31 p.m. We're going to have a moment of silent meditation followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. We're going to have our clerk give us a roll call.
Roll call. Roll call. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Roll call. Mayor Nickerson.
Here.
Vice Mayor Martin.
Present.
Councilperson Earbaum's not here yet. Councilperson Lightfoot Ward. Councilperson Winters.
Present.
Also present for the record, Janice Jacoby. Village Clerk, Christia Liu, Village Manager, and in lieu of Joseph Geller, we have Attorney Raw.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Approve of the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda? Moved by
Second.
Councilperson Lightfoot Ward, second by Councilperson Winters. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed,
Present
say
for the
nay.
record, Councilperson Earbaum has walked in.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. Hearing none. Moving on to the resolutions. Mr. Attorney, if you could read that resolution to the record for us. Thank you.
Good evening. This is a resolution of the Village Council of the Village of El Portal of Miami-Dade County, Florida, determining the village's proposed millage rates as required by Section 200.065 Florida statutes and setting the date, time, and place of public hearings to adopt the tentative and final millage and budget for fiscal year 2025-2026. Directing the village clerk and the village manager to file this resolution with the Miami-Dade County property appraiser, authorizing the village manager to change the budget hearing dates if necessary, providing for incorporation of recitals, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you very much, Mr. Attorney. Appreciate that. So this resolution right here, you guys, the reason why we're having this special meeting is because we have to do this every year. This resolution is a resolution to get the budget started. It acknowledges that we're going into budget season, and it says that essentially we're not raising the millage rate, right? So we're not raising taxes, and we're going to the budget season. And if you heard what he said, we picked what this resolution is. It chooses a date and a time for the budget workshops. So the first budget hearing will be September the 9th. Tuesday. The second will be September the 23rd. The first one, September the 9th at 7 p.m. The second one, September the 23rd at 6:45. And those dates are right here. And that's essentially what this resolution is all about. We are entering the budget season. Okay. Any questions or comments from the council? Hearing none.
I always just like to take the opportunity to remind everyone that while the tax amount might go up, that is based on your assessed value. The rate is not going up. The rate has not gone up for many years. The rate continues to not go up. So as I came onto the council, this was all actually very confusing for me, the first budget season, specifically around the discussion of millage rate versus rollback rate versus assessed value. So I always like to take the opportunity to remind people that the tax amount might go up because the assessed value has gone up, but the rate is not, which is what we're voting on tonight, the rate is not increasing, and the rate has not increased for many years.
No, we've never raised taxes under this administration, for sure. Any other questions or comments from the council? Okay. Seeing none. Audience, any questions or comments about this particular item? The budget dates, the budget opening up in September? No? Hearing, seeing none. Any last questions or comments from the council, or do I have a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve.
Motion to approve,
Second.
Councilperson Earbaum, second Councilperson Winters. Madam Clerk, get a roll call, please.
I was a little slow, Mr.
Hold on, we have a
I'm
point of
doing
order
roll
from
call.
Lightfoot. We have a point of order from Lightfoot Ward.
Councilperson
Before
Lightfoot
we do
Ward.
the vote,
Councilperson Lightfoot Ward, excuse me?
yes,
Yes?
the more, this is for the audience, the people I think of, who came to my house and said, get back on the council. If we are doing something wrong, please don't wait for times like this. Many of you have called and said, we're not trying to be mean. Dr. Ward, we just need you all to be open. This is what was said to me. We're not trying to do anything more than what we need to do. We are the smallest village in Dade County. We hardly ever increase anything. Yes, I've been gone a long time, but y'all almost lost me. I mean, I almost died twice. But I'm here today because you all asked me to come. People in this village asked me to come back. When the people ask you to come, you come. But the larceny that I've been hearing is not El Portel. Because we all pay the same taxes. We all have to do what we have to do. And I am appreciative for those of you that came to my house and explained to me why you were upset. And I am delighted that the building is filled. We used to didn't have it, am I right, Mayor? We used to didn't have the building filled. So we thank you very much, but I guarantee you we're not doing anything unless somebody can dispute me. We're not trying to get bigger raises. We're not trying to rob your bank. We're just like you. We live in the village. I'm retired. So this pension, this little piece of cash that I get every day, I'm also giving it away to people who don't have anything. Please work with us. Those of you that have, I commend you well. Just work with us. We're not trying to do anything illegal, immoral, or unethical. If you don't know, too many people came back and said, somebody said that y'all getting a $7,000 raise. I said, where'd you get that from? And that just swirled around this little village and other things that were larceny. I guarantee you, if we're doing something wrong, there's at least 3 of us that would be right up on this and say, that's wrong. Am I right or wrong? I'm right. At least 3 of us up here would say, that's wrong. And I'm probably one of the main people that have lived in this village very satisfied for many, many years. Somebody said 37 years. I said, really? So people, if you don't know, please don't listen to larceny. We have nothing to gain as a council doing wrong. We have nothing to gain. But we have people up here who are just like you. It's just that the people ask me, ask my person on the end to run for office. And the other ones that have been here is because you all keep voting us. If you don't want us here, then when voting times comes, just exit. Don't pay it no mind. Get it out the way. But we are not trying to do anything illegal, immoral, or unethical. Otherwise, you would have saw me on the floor. As a minister, as well as a politician, I'm not having it. I'm trying to get to heaven. I'm not trying to go to hell. So people, if you have a problem, talk to the mayor. Talk to me. Talk to anybody that's on this rostrum so that you will understand we are not doing anything illegal, immoral, or unethical. Is that all right? Yes. No. Hold on. We got protocol. I'm sorry. Sorry, Mayor.
Regarding the millage, I did raise my hand.
Hold it. We do have a point of order, and I want the people to speak. Before we make this decision, I want the people to speak. And if I'm out of line, Mayor, then I'm right where the people are.
All right.
Can I entertain the comments?
Okay. So for any comments about anything about council pay, you would address that in the good and welfare portion, okay? Right now, we're on the agenda item for the budget. So this is about the budget dates, right here, and about the millage rate, that we're not raising taxes, and it's basically a resolution saying that we're going into budget season. These are the two budget hearings, these are the dates, these are the times, and the millage rate, we're not raising the millage rate, okay? That's what this is about. I put a good and welfare here, right after the agenda item. There's a good and welfare here where you can talk about anything at all. All right? All right. I know you were late. No problem. All right. Come up here. This is about the millage rate. We do have a motion in a second. As soon as you finish speaking, we have a motion in a second that we're going to vote on. Go ahead, Mr. Alvarez, about the budget and the millage rate.
My name is George Alvarez. I live at 165 Northwest 88th Street. Regarding the millage rate, I thank the mayor, council, and all the staff, not just this current council and staff, but past councils and staff. We have not had a millage rate increase in, I think, about 15 years, something.
You're right.
Something like that. So that's good. However, to contrast that, we do have the second highest millage rate in Dade County. That's out of about 40 other municipalities. Some of these municipalities include like Medley. So if you know anything about Medley, you know that's called fuzzy math in a municipality right there. So I don't think we should be competing for the highest, even as we don't increase any further. I would like to request that the council bring into consideration in budget and appropriations meetings, the next one I believe is scheduled for the second.
September 2nd.
And perhaps even just keep it in the back of your mind contextually as you discuss this subject tonight. I believe that El Pretel, at the millage rate that we spend, considering that our property values have shot up like rockets since 2000 and like science fiction rockets since the pandemic. Our property values have shot up for the last 5 years. Now, we may be entering into a little bit of a lull, a flattening here in South Florida. There's a lot of macroeconomic realities. I think it is unreasonable to pay higher amounts considering we're seeing a flattening of property values. I think it is reasonable that we should not be paying as much as we are in millage rates. I would like to encourage the mayor, the council, to make a motion to roll back our millage rates. If it is true that we are earning some percentage of $1 million of future tax revenue from the Cavista building starting next year, that's good. It is what it is. But that money could certainly go back into my pockets and could certainly go back into everyone here's pockets. It could certainly go into our roads. It could certainly go into resilience. While we have not had any budget meetings in 2025, I believe the last one was in the fall of 2024, there are new realities, including the Cavista building. There are new realities, including some of the things that were spoken about by Councilperson Ward. I think as opposed to pay raises, we should be talking about millage decreases. I think that there's a lot of features that El Pretel deserves. We're just a blip on the map, 12 blocks by 4.
Mr. Alvarez, just kind of wrap it. You're
Was that
good.
the- was that
that was
the
your
buzzer for
3 minutes.
me?
That was your 3 minutes. That was your 3
Apparently
minutes.
that was the buzzer for me. So
But
I'm
you're-
going
but
to
you're
encourage
good.
the council to consider rolling back our millage rates. The rollback rate and our rate are significantly far apart. When you look at the cluster of millage rates of other cities, other municipalities in Miami-Dade County, they are much closer to the rollback rate than are we. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much,
council. I
Mr.
hope you consider
Alvarez.
it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. You wanna-
I just wanted to second that. My name is Greg Steer. I live at 120 Northwest 86th Street. Just so you know, the fact that the millage rate doesn't go up, and the village is very proud of that, and they should be, doesn't mean your taxes are not going to go up, because they will. So when they say your taxes aren't going up, they are going up, because the county assesses the market and the assessment value of your property. So the millage rate stays the same. If the assessment goes up, you're going to pay more in taxes. And I agree, it should be rolled back. We're the third highest in the entire county. There's 31 municipalities. We're the third smallest, and we have one of the highest millage rates. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Steer. Anybody else about the millage rate?
If I could just make a comment while the next person's coming up.
Go ahead.
So this is something I've learned recently. Okay, this is not what I learned in my first term up here, but rollback rate. Rollback rate, I used to think of as, oh, that's what the rate used to be. That's not what the rollback rate is. The rollback rate means if we're going to have the exact same dollar amount in our revenue as a line item for the revenue generated from property taxes in this village, if we're going to have the exact same dollar amount available to us as last year, that's the rollback rate. So if we were going to have the exact same dollar amount budget from a property tax standpoint, then we would roll back this 8.3 to the rollback rate, and we wind up with the same dollar amount on that line item for revenues available to the village. We have other line items for other revenues as well, but obviously property tax is the largest. So just want to put that in there, that rollback rate does not mean where the rate used to be. It means where we would put the rate today to make the dollar amount the same as last year.
Thank you very much, Councilperson Urban. Yes. Just say your name and address for the record, please.
Alexandra Baza, 120 Northwest 86th Street. I just wanted to add to Greg's comment that the property taxes do go up because now Miami-Dade County is not based on the purchase value, but based on the value of all your neighbors. So despite if you bought it for $500,000, they're gonna assess it as $1 million. So just to take that into consideration.
Thank you very, very much. Appreciate
Isn't
it.
there a 3% cap?
Anybody else about the either dates or millage rate? Okay, seeing, hearing none. Madam Clerk, we do have a first and second. Can I please have roll call, please?
Roll call. Councilperson Winters.
Yes.
Councilperson Lightfoot Ward. Councilperson Urban.
No.
Vice Mayor Martin. Mayor Nickerson.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-1.
Thank you very much. Moving on, you guys, to good and welfare right here. This is the part of the meeting where you can come up and talk about anything that you would like to talk about. Just say your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes. Okay? First up. Good and welfare, you can come up right now, talk about anything that you want to speak about. Come up, you have 3 minutes, say your first name and last name and your address for the record. Go to that one right there. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Chantal Rodriguez. I reside at 48 Northeast 86th Street. I have been a resident here since '98, so I've been here quite some time. And so I'm a firm believer in communication, correct? And when things are said and that people are not, you're uncertain as to what is being said, if it's actual or if it's just something that someone is believing what it is. Open communication. So as far as I was told, and it was just an email that was shared, that regarding the salaries, that everyone in the council, their salaries were going to be increased to $67,000. What? And I thought, what? I flipped, and I thought, how is that even possible? Exactly, because we are a small village, correct? And I do believe, yes, that there should be annual increases, but from what it is now to $67,000, I just thought that's just unbelievable, and it's absurd. So I'm here. Unfortunately, my hours are late at work, and sometimes I'm getting home 7:30, which doesn't always allow me to be present. But I just wanted to come and voice my concern. But if you could share information with us regarding that. And I think that would put everyone at ease, for sure. And again, it's communication. That's what it involves.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Next.
Before we go to the next commenter, I do think it's important to contextualize the conversation. There was a vote for an increase that occurred. It was $67,000. That amount was proposed by Councilman Winters, and it was not a unanimous vote. I voted no. Councilman Erbaum voted no. Councilman Lightfoot Ward said yes. Councilman Winters said yes. The mayor said yes. That is the context. That's the framework within which we exist right now. And I really want us to kind of be clear on that before we proceed with the conversation. My vote was a no. My vote was to pull it, even when I believed the increase for the council members to be to $10,000. So this is where we are, and any comments about that, if that is where you would like to comment on, now would be a time for you to do so. And I urge you to address the council person who proposed the increase. I'm sure he has a lot of answers that I wouldn't necessarily have for you, and whomever else has supported the item.
Mr. Steer?
Yes, thank you for clarifying that. That is true. It was 3-2, and you and Erbaum also voted no, but the mayor was the deciding vote for yes. So the $67,000 raise did pass. You're shaking your head, but it did pass.
I didn't understand it.
Oh.
I wouldn't have done that. I'm sorry, people. I don't mind admitting when I'm wrong.
Well, you can rescind it. You have the right to rescind it. So anyway, I need to read this because there's a lot here and very little time. So at the July 22nd meeting in which you voted yourselves a humongous raise, there's no other way to describe it, that meeting is still not posted on your website. It's posted on YouTube, but the sound quality is very poor. You did post the agenda, but it's 118 pages. Buried in there somewhere is the resolution about the raise. Personally, I always thought a council seat for a small town like El Portal was more of a civic duty, not a career, more done out of pride, not for profit. It's a part-time job. And not to take away from the work that you guys do, you only meet once a month. According to your website, you've only had 4 planning and zoning meetings, no admin meetings, no public safety meetings, no budget meetings until tonight. So it's a part-time job. When the resolution came up, the council person oddly seemed to equate it directly, the raise, directly with the revenue from the Barrington brothers. That, to me, was very concerning because it seemed to suggest you kind of run the risk of it being seen as a quid pro quo, that you approved the development for the Barrington brothers knowing all this money was coming in order to later justify increasing your salary instead of putting it towards the village that you pledged to represent and not your personal bottom line. This money should go to repairing our streets, enforcing our code, protecting our trees, maintaining our park. Oh, I'm sorry, we don't have a park. We have a tot lot. Not the same as a park. A town deserves a park. And most importantly, it should have been applied as a down payment towards the sewer system we don't have, but desperately need, and have been waiting for 15 years. Just quick comparison between the municipalities. There's 31 municipalities in Dade County. We're the 3rd smallest. Of the 31, only 5 pay their council members more than 10 grand a year. The city of Miami has 500,000 people. They only pay theirs 40,000. North Bay Village, which is our neighbor, pays 6,000. But Bay Harbor, Golden Beach, our bigger, richer neighbor to the north, Miami Shores, Surfside, they all pay their council members a single dollar. Miami Lakes, Biscayne Park, another neighbor, pays 0. Bottom line, this is going to be seen as a blatant, irresponsible overreach, money grab, whatever you want to call it, but I urge the mayor and the 2 council members that voted for it to reconsider before, as the mayor warned in the last meeting, this becomes a debacle. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Reverend Collins. Say your name and address for the record again.
Alexandra Baza, 120 Northwest 86th Street. So I'm going to read as well. I want to thank you, Vice Mayor, for taking the time this morning to find me while I was posting flyers to invite people to participate in today's meeting. After watching the video, I understand now why it's important for you to distance yourself from the vote, from the other votes. For the record, I want to say that I believe that the flyer was not inaccurate. A $67,000 increase was voted, approved, and it was never said that it was unanimous. But in my opinion, it was evidence that how decisions are being made during this administration and how important it is that particularly now that El Portal is being developed at such rapid speed to have code, like a clear process to ensure transparency during the approval of decisions that have permanent impact in the future of the city. I believe that because it wasn't done in 20 or 30 years, it's not an argument to raise it from $7,000 from $7,000 to $10,000, earning today what is supposed to you get in the future. If moving forward, salaries should be reviewed on a yearly basis for fairness, it is a different discussion. It's not about how much it is, because I agree that the mayor position is a full-time job and should be compensated as such. But again, it's about how decisions are made. As far as the council members' compensation, it should be fair. In the same way, I believe that teachers should be better compensated to attract the best possible candidates for the position. I also don't believe that this city can afford the salary of full-time council members. Like Councilor Anders mentioned above, at least 2 people should be running for each position every cycle. So I do believe that it should be better compensated, but my criticism is about how it was processed, how was it done, and how everything has been done. I agree that with Vice Mayor that we cannot attach the budget permanently to the amount of extra hours that a particular person is voluntarily working. Besides, that is why any contract for services compensation is agreed in advance. The only scenario where you get to dictate your salary or your hourly rate is when you're self-employed. But this is a public funded position. So when Council Winters thought that a 23 million violin is relevant into his math, for the conversation, while the average income of the residents is still at $65,000 in this town, even with the new restaurants, I found that appalling. I am not sure why Mayor Nicholson and Charles Winters' comments are about the addition of, for additional income of commercial permits and large residence projects during the discussions about their salary when this is not a commission-based position. Well, I can keep going on and on, but I guess you.
Thank you very much.
My name is George Alvarez. I live at 165 Northwest 88th Street. Before I say anything that I want to say, I want to talk about gratitude. I was raised in the Catholic Church. I was raised by a Miami-Dade public school teacher. He was a salt of the earth guy. He's no longer with us, but many of you knew him. Saw some old guy walking around at age 90. That was him. I believe one time the El Portal police pulled him over. So I am thankful for this community. I was born here in the 1970s. And I'm thankful for how I grew up in a community of different ethnicities, different religions. I would say different socioeconomic backgrounds, but that wouldn't be accurate, wouldn't be strictly speaking accurate. But I'm also thankful, and I have gratitude for these trials, these moments that try us as humans. And every once in a while, I find myself in a situation where I see a thing, I hear a thing, I read a thing, and I'm like, oh, wow, that's wrong. What did I see? What did I hear? What did I read? So I have gratitude that my Miami-Dade public school father and my homemaker / occasional legal secretary mother raised me well enough to believe what I see, what I hear, and what I read, or to question them in an age where algorithms are pushing ideas around that you don't have the time to vet because you're working 9 to 5 and in traffic on Biscayne or even 87th Street. You think about why I'm talking about 87th Street. We're not going to talk about that in this meeting. So I was here last week, and the council had a proposal. The proposal was to pay the mayor $49,000 a year, the vice mayor $27,000 a year, the 3 remaining council people $10,000, significant raises for all of them. In the middle of the debate, Councilperson Winters, as is his right to do, amended it. I don't quite agree with the reasons that were mentioned to amend it to $67,000, but it was voted for and it voted successful. If people didn't understand what they were voting for, they should have asked. Now, Attorney Geller told me that there is a process by which any of the 3 council people who voted for the $67,000 may make a motion to reconsider. That could have been done at the meeting, that can be done at this meeting, and at the next meeting or this meeting, any of our council people can make a motion to rescind this. Let's take it back to 0, and if you guys deserve a raise, and I believed that you do until I started thinking and having gratitude for my common sense, that anybody who would pull that kind of administrative maneuver on these people does not deserve a raise.
Thank you, Ms. Allen.
So I thank you. I thank you for your time, and I do believe that you are all reasonable men and women, and that you are all honorable men and women. I urge you to prove it to us by one of you making the appropriate motion tonight. Thank you, council.
Thank you very much. Who's next? Good and welfare?
I'm not sure if I can stand much more manipulation of this.
No,
This
just
is
wait. No,
a lot of
no,
lies.
no, this is
getting
no,
a little too
no,
much.
No,
They
this
need
is-
to be told
no,
the truth.
No, good. This is good and welfare. Good and welfare are for the residents. Once public hearing closes, then it comes back to the council.
Mr. Mayor, I have a question on the point of order.
Yes, Councilman.
My question is, as Resident Alvarez just stated, any one of the council members can make a motion to basically.
No.
Right. I want to clarify that is actually not the case, because what can happen is any council person can petition to have this item put as an agenda item on the next general council meeting, which is at the end of September, by the way. We do not have meetings in August. It is a government recess month, okay? So we're talking about general council meeting, end of September. That is where any council person would be able to attach an agenda item, basically the same agenda item that was presented last week, only presented anew, right? That could happen at any time, just as we witnessed last week. In order to rescind what happened last week, only one of the yes votes can make that motion. A no vote from last week cannot make the motion to rescind this. I want to be very clear about that. The only opportunity for all of the council persons to make a change to this will be at the next general council meeting, assuming that that item would appear as an agenda item properly noticed to the public.
Let me just say to the council, this is good and welfare for a public hearing for the residents. And Good and welfare is not debate. Good and welfare is for public hearing, then it closes to the public hearing, then it comes back to the council for any comments or rebuttals, okay? So this is good and welfare for the residents, all right?
Yes, so once the residents are done speaking, then then good and welfare will essentially come back to the council.
Then good and
That's
welfare,
where
yeah, will close.
Councilperson Winters would be able to speak his mind and any other council person.
Yes, thank you. Say your name and address for the record, please.
Joan Hector, 260 Northeast 88th Street. I'm listening to a lot of what's going on. I have to say I agree with a lot of what's going on. But another topic that I feel is really crucial is I feel that the very fabric and identity of this community is starting to be lost. And I'm seeing the developments that come in. Granted, it's great to have the tax revenue and everything from that. But I feel like we're losing our character. I feel like we're losing our neighborhoodness. And that's something that really makes this community unique. I've been a resident for 41 years. I've seen a lot of changes. I live right next door to the Raider Church property, which I now understand is set for demolition. And it's really distressing to me to see what goes on here. That's it.
Thank you very much, Ms. Hector.
Hi, everyone. Jimena Serrano, 110 Northeast 87th Street. Basically, I don't come here much. Every Monday, I look into the agenda that Tuesdays are going to discuss, and normally it's like new constructions for all our homes. So I was surprised when I got information today that a resolution was passed to outrageously increase compensation to some members. Because I didn't see it in last week's order of the day, to be honest. If I had seen that, I would have come, because I'm a new neighbor here in El Portal. I just came 2 years ago, and I was outraged by the level of taxes we're paying. When we have septic tank, we don't even have a community pool, we don't have a park. If we had all that, I would say, okay, I'm happily paying all those taxes, but then I learned that we are the third largest mileage in the Miami counties. I don't know much about this, I'm just learning about that, but I feel deceived for what I'm learning today and why this was not discussed in the front of the calendar of the village. So just wanted to set my concern about this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. No,
I just had a question about what Councilperson Urban said about who can vote to rescind this tonight. There's only three people?
yeah, we'll address that after everything's done.
Okay, I
All
just
right.
wanted to make sure that we understood that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
There's
over
only
that.
3 people.
I got you.
Okay.
I got you. Who's next for good and welfare?
Good evening. My name is Cheryl Turner, and I live at 485 Northwest 88th Street, and I've been a resident for 48 years. I've seen the village change, and I mean really change. It used to be a community. I didn't just know my neighbors on my street. I knew neighbors all around El Portal. And I feel that if something like that, a raise or whatever was going to happen, we should have known about it ahead of time. You don't wait and do that without us knowing about it. And as someone previously said, you don't give yourself a raise. We are the village, okay? Everyone in here is we are the village. Just like I believe in God, I am the church, not the building. I am the church. So we are supposed to determine whether or not you get a raise.
That's right.
I don't think it should be done by you. That's all I wanted to say. And the village has changed. And I've been waiting for a sewer system, like someone else said, for 15 years or more, maybe. And a lot of the services that we used to receive, we don't receive anymore. I used to see a police officer on my street at least 2 to 3 times a day. Not anymore. They drove by at night and during the daytime. That does not happen anymore. And I'm glad to see them when I see them. But A lot of the services that we've had, they've gone. And I've been here for 48 years. And my neighbor Barbara has been here for 49. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good and welfare? Okay. All right, no problem.
My name is Daniel Rojas. I've been a resident of El Portal for 13 years now, 60 Northeast 86th Street. Again, just like everybody else, I think we just found out a couple of days ago that they had voted to give themselves a raise. I believe it was a motion put in by somebody had just voted in. And it is my perception that if I was at a job and I were to come in, accept the position, and ask for a raise immediately, and not just a small raise, pretty much more than 100% what the average council members in South Florida make, I would probably be fired immediately. So. Just expressing my opinion, I think that the council members and the mayor, they have to do something to make this right by us. And there's a lot of things we can do to their budget that shouldn't be just to pay salaries for people that, even though some of them deserve it, but some of them already agreed to do this service for a certain amount of time, for a certain amount of hours. And if they get paid hourly more than most of the residents, I don't think that makes any sense. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Who's next? Good and welfare. Good and welfare. Next up.
Hey neighbors, my name is Jose Tafur. I'm from 65 89th Street. And reality goes into the lens. I mean, many of us were parents. We teach our children to make sure that they do right and it looks right. So if you had the best of intentions in regards to the salary adjustment, it always goes back to what I speak to my team as well, as I do to my children, is if the job is not for you, then walk away. And I'm a senior vice president of a Fortune 10 company. So in reality, this is not a call, this is a job. You sign in, you know what you pay. If it's not enough, there's plenty more. But do consider that because we are very strong about what is priority for us and really is keeping a sense of community, being level to what we see as value, and putting first things that we really require. You know, public lights, roads, and safety. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good evening. My name is Pascal DePoule. I live at 177 Northwest 90th Street. My daughter just graduated from the Air Force Basic Training and got her report card, and she shared it with us. And the most important thing on there that I was the most proud of her for was it said, sacrifices her comfort for the good of her team. It's all I'd ask you guys to do. I think you guys deserve a raise. $3,000 a year is nothing, and you guys do a lot of work. But sacrifice comfort for the good of the others. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Smith.
Good evening, Jacomina de Poel, 177 Northwest 90th Street. How are we going to fix this? Obviously, Mrs. Lightfoot Ward wasn't aware of the $67,000 increase that she voted for, so something was miscommunicated, so how can we fix it? That's my question. I agree with Mr. de Poel that you definitely should get an increase in raise, but 67,000 is a bit too much. So
Thank you.
how we fix it.
Thank you.
John Malozzi, 63 Northeast 89th Street. I've been a resident here for 4 years. The one thing I just want to say, and I've worked in many jobs, healthcare. During the COVID crisis, I was manning a lot of the super sites here in Miami. Before that, I actually have an arts degree, so I have a pretty well-versed arrangement of skills here. And I understand the need for a raise. So the one thing I will say is this, and I'm looking forward to it, because you were very upset, understandably. I'd like to hear, I'm sure as many other people here want to hear as well, the detailed reasons how you justify a 2,000% increase in salary. This I'd like to hear. That's all I'm asking for. And if we are still upset about it, can't do much about it, but I do look forward to hearing the reasoning. That's what I'm going to say. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Next, Good and Welfare.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Werner Dreyer. I'm at 486 Northeast 87th Street. So I've been living here in El Portal for the 13 years, right? I've had the pleasure of meeting a few of you, right, throughout the years. And even sitting here and behind those seats that you have. We all know that this is a community service, right? We all signed up our application forms. We knew the pay, the $3,000, right, that was coming for us. It's community service. It's not monetizing our time, right? So if we deserve to have an increase in salary, there's always other opportunities. We can become more entrepreneur, find different avenues to get more resources. So I do remember when I was part of the council, I was a council member, I had Dr. Ward come in. I know there was a proposal back in the days when we had the former mayor, I'm not gonna say names, but the proposal was to increase from 3,000 to 4,500. I remember, Dr. Ward, you came here as a resident, you strictly opposed that. I was the only one who voted against that not such increase. That's bad. It was 3,000 to 4,500. So you guys just applied the millage rate. You kept it the same, but our property taxes are going above. We know property value increases, but what, as you said at that time, Dr. Ward, what are we getting in return for those services? So I've been here year over year. I've been here in front of you guys, bothering you, bugging you about the potholes, the street repairs. It's been another year. I also was concerned about other expenses that we've been incurring in the administration. I was also promised reevaluation, next steps, and suddenly I feel, and I also brought it up to the to the current council person who ran his campaign on the concerns of the administrative costs. So now I hear another $350,000 proposal, right? So it's very concerning. Again, the three members who voted against, perhaps maybe Dr. Ward, you might, since you were one of the votes, maybe you want to reclaim that decision. And I know our mayor does a lot of work. I've called him on the weekend. We really appreciate that. We take that in consideration. But again, we all signed up as this is community service, and we're here to help the community. I even offered my help to the mayor because I've heard that they're serving dual roles. They're doing commission work and also the administrative work that other folks are not able to pick up. So I offered the help here. If you ever need any help, at no cost, I'm available.
very much, Mr. Dreyer. Who's next, Good and Welfare?
Laura.
Just say your name and
Excuse me, I
address.
have laryngitis. Laura Charlemagne, 190 Northwest 87th Street. Council, how do you intend to pay for that raise? That's all I want to know. I don't understand the mayor works all the time. He's delivering sandbags. We always see him. He's sending email, whatever. But I haven't heard from you. How do you intend to pay for that raise? Please answer.
Who's next? So we're doing Good and Welfare, and then once the public hearing closes, then we address. Okay?
My name is Laura Benge. I live at 488 Northeast 90th Street. Admittedly, this is the first meeting that I've ever attended, just because I heard about the raises and I wanted to come and see and understand. Also, some of you might think I'm crazy because I brought my 5- and 7-year-old to this meeting, but I think it's very important for them to see what activism and understanding their community looks like. And also, I want to say that my family is one of those families that moved from New York City 5 years ago. We love it here. I love my neighborhood. I could not have asked for a better street. Every single one of my neighbors is so supportive, so kind, so thoughtful. And I want to keep up that spirit of community. Mayor Omar has been nothing but helpful with the mom chat, which is all about the Tatlot playground, which is very vital to our community and the young kids. And what I want to understand is what that $350,000 that I believe is coming from Cavista, aka Adam Newman, the founder of WeWork. That is a windfall that our community has gotten. We are lucky. I think that serving on this board as a council person is an absolute honor for what we are doing here. It is for the community. And I just want to understand why $67,000 from going from, and I'm sorry, I don't know the exact amount you're being paid right now, but a 2,133% increase sounds like a scheme. It sounds like an absolute power grab, and I want my children to understand what that looks like. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Alvarez, one time.
One time?
Yeah, one time. That's how it's supposed to be.
What about a little something for the First Amendment?
Mr. Alvarez, Good and Welfare, 3 minutes, one time, my brother.
May I ask a question then?
Yes.
Will anyone on the council, including the mayor, tonight make a motion to rescind this proposal?
All right, so we'll address all questions and comments at the end of the public hearing.
And same goes for the 3 who are allowed to make a motion to reconsider. There are 2 different viable paths to taking us back to 0. I think we'd all appreciate it.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you again.
Thank you. Who's next, Good and Welfare? How you doing? Say your name and address for the record, and the floor is
Good
yours.
evening, everyone. My name is Cyril Emanueli. I live 172 Northwest 87th Street. with my wife, who is here tonight. I have to say that we are very impressed with the residents that are here tonight because they've been, living in El Portal for over 40 years, 30 years. I believe we've been living in El Portal for a month and a half. We bought a house, and thank you. And we already feel very welcome because we wanted to move to El Portal a long time ago. This is the second offer that we made on a house. The first one was denied, so we kind of forgot about it. I mean, not forgot, put it aside because we were very disappointed. And within a month and a half, we have met our neighbors. Simon is here, we've met Harris and Cameron, and we've been so welcome in this neighborhood, and that's exactly what we were looking for. To buy this house, we took a mortgage, and to use the tools that are available, on the Miami-Dade tax calculator, you can anticipate the tax you will pay, and this investment that we made, we didn't flip a coin. We made calculations. We also borrowed money from family because that's really what we wanted to do. And we were successful because we anticipated and calculated the budget and the terms and the cost that goes with that. And what we did not anticipate is our neighbors telling us that the tax would increase drastically because there's a new raise for the council, and we would like to understand better because we believe, and I work in finance, and to make proper decision, you should base on budgets and on long-term runs. So we really want to understand what's going on because now it might put us in a difficult place because, of course, this triple-digit increase is not what we have anticipated and what we have in our budget as a household. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good and welfare. Next for public hearing.
Samuel Noel. I've been a resident of El Portal for more than 30 years. I was shocked when I received the paper to see a 2,000 increase. Never heard, never seen. I would like to know, this increase, is it merit-based or adjustment-based? And in the case of the council refuse to listen to the resident, what is the ordinance of El Portal so we can repeal this council? Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is John Johnson. My address is 65 Northeast 86th Street. I was led by the Holy Spirit to move into El Portal over 40 years ago when I bought my home. There have been many mayors in this village, and some was not too good in doing their job. When I first saw Mayor Nicholson, he came down the street to my home, and I knew right then and there he was a person because I have the spirit of discernment. I appreciate it. And I do have a spirit of discernment about this council. The Word of God said, too much is given, much is required. If individuals had a job before they got this position, that was a good thing. But now you have, I would call it a volunteer position, the type of salary you receive, because if that's what you want to do it, be satisfied with it, and if you're not, move out, let someone else come who will be able to enjoy it. I started to become, I tried to get a position here, but I was told as a retired correction officer before I got there that I couldn't do it because I wanted to go to, not Miami Lakes, but to the other city up there in northwest Miami.
Miami Gardens?
Miami Gardens. But that's a good thing because I had a long career, 35 years in law enforcement. And what I'm hearing now is that something similar to the White House. Folk want more than what they should be receiving. If you're only doing 4 hours, if you're doing 10 hours voluntarily, whatever that salary comes with, be satisfied with that. If you want something different, go to another position or another place or another employment that you can handle that will give you the type of money that you want, the salary that you feel you need. My thing when I retired, I got a healthy, very healthy payout. And that's because when I work overtime, very little, but I did my job to the best of my ability. And what I was given, I said to myself, I told my wife we'd use our funds in such a way that we'd be able to prosper and be a blessing to others. My neighbors, when I moved into my area, I was blessed to be given a rider mower, and I mowed the lawn of my neighbors next door, down the street, and I had no problems with that and doing that because my thing is that much is given, much is required. And by me being able to have that type of ability to serve others and to help others, and I think it's people in this community, we're here to help one another. We're here in this world to help one another. You know, if we all consider ourselves Christians, let us be like Christians. You know, let us look at the fact that what we're dealing with right now, let the vote of the council do their due diligence and be able to make this increase that they're requesting more palatable to everyone to be satisfied. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's all good. You Good and welfare, public hearing, public comments? Hello.
Hi, my name is Dorota, 8715 Northeast 87th Avenue. I just found out everything that's going on while I was walking for a walk. So being here for the last 30 minutes, I just learned that I believe that Ms. Ward said that she didn't make that vote, or she wasn't aware what she was signing. So I would think that a motion to rescind a vote should be placed. I would like to ask legal counsel, excuse me, hello? Legal counsel is... Hi, sorry, I was just talking about motion to rescind. Is that something legally can be done by the... If somebody's not sure what they signed, or if they were not voting for it, can they do a motion to rescind, correct?
There are a number of different motions, parliamentary motions. I don't think you're talking about rescind. I think you're talking about reconsider. But
Okay, reconsider then.
that is permitted under certain circumstances.
Okay, yeah. I just want to find out, since all the people are talking very valid points here. I agree to all of them. I just wanted to know what's the next step that we can fix it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Who's next? Good and welfare, public comment?
Good afternoon. Jay Rivero, 225 Northeast 86th Street. I've lived in this village for over 20 years. One, this budget or salary increase, I am totally against it. The 20-plus minute conversation that was discussed last week about prices of eggs at $13.99, about buying a Hyundai on year 1993 for $6,000, totally wrong. Eggs, I don't live in Beverly Hills. And even if I did, I would not be paying $13.99 for eggs. Secondly, 1993, I bought a Hyundai when I was going to college in 1987. It cost me over $15,000. I don't know where you got your numbers, but this $67,000 doesn't fly with me, okay? I did not even hear in that motion that there will be a floor to that salary if you do not do your job. That there were expectations for each council person to do a meeting or do town halls or some other community events. I don't see each and every one of you doing it. I mean, we went from $15,000 to $340,000. I work in a Fortune 500 company. I hire people. My customer service people, they get hired for $40,000 and they have to work 40 hours. $67,000, not acceptable. Okay? Secondly, I know that this money is coming from business tax revenue from the development of the Cavista. I specifically said, I'm in agreement with some sort of a raise because you haven't got none since 1992. However, $67,000, no way. Okay? I have a whole bunch of stuff here that I got from the community. Individuals have copied and sent them to me because I'm not getting them directly. Doesn't matter. But police cars, please explain how we got the police cars, which was part of federal dollars from Obama administration, not city budget. Unincorporating the village, that's unreasonable. Overdevelopment, I see some changes, but not too much, okay? But this budget discussion September 2nd needs to be put as first agenda, and it needs to come to public hearing. So let's work together. Let's get a reasonable pay raise, because you are civic duty individuals. You signed up, we voted for you. And if you do not rescind, or however you said it, lawyer, I will motion for the lawyer to give us recall petition information And you all that voted yes will be voted out. And lastly, I don't want to hear a 20-minute conversation again about $13 for egg dozen. I don't want to hear about a Hyundai. I don't want to hear about anything else. But lastly, and not to point fingers, Councilperson Lightfoot Ward, you're not available to anyone or to me. You asked me to call you one day. I called you. You didn't answer. You didn't return my call. Secondly, every meeting that we've had that you are part of this council, you are never prepared. You are always voting opposite to everybody. You need to reconsider where you're sitting or else recall.
Good and welfare? Who's next, public hearing?
Hello, my name is JP Cunningham. I live at 131 Northeast 87th Street. I came mainly just to find out if this was actually true. Like, I couldn't believe it. I thought it was just a flyer. My wife sent it to me on Nextdoor or something like that. And I was like, let's just go find out, because this just does not sound accurate at all. A lot of stuff getting done in one meeting. You know what I mean? Also, am I to believe that this is the last meeting before you guys go on break? Like, where there's no more council meetings?
So August nationally is like the break for government.
So this meeting that you guys took right before was timed right before the break. Maybe like a little cool down period? Was that like by design? So anyhow,
Why are you here?
I just want to let you guys know this is not going away at all.
Once you get
Thank
the
you.
truth, you will.
Who's next, good and welfare? Good and welfare?
Can I speak? Mayor.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Patricia Estremadoiro. I live on 12 Northwest 91st Street. It is quite a surprise that, I live in this El Portal for about 7 years, a little bit more. And I have come to certain meetings, but not as much. I always have trusted that what I see being done, not always perfect, but I trusted that they do, the government kind of does what they need to do. To my surprise, I'm a mother of two, and ever since they're little, I started volunteering the PTSA meetings in different schools until both my kids graduated. I volunteer at the American Cancer Society. I volunteer at Mount Sinai Hospital. I volunteer with the Navy SEALs and other entities. And every single time that I decided to volunteer with them, I knew exactly what they needed and what I was gonna get into it. Obviously, I want the best in every situation to work out, and this is why I offer my free time to do what is needed. My understanding from today is that you guys signed to do a job, that you knew exactly what you were gonna get into, and not just like come and make money, because that's not a priority. Our city has a lot of more important priorities, like, again, somebody mentioned the police department, the potholes, and things like that, that we live through with that because our city is beautiful and has a lot of trees and nature that kind of covers certain things that need to be addressed. But still, this increase in salary is not acceptable. I hope you can see that in a last-minute event, we are many here, not the whole community, but this is what we all want. We don't want this increase in salary, and if there was to be one, I think maybe part of that money should be
sending flyers for all of us. So we're aware of it, and we can decide whether this is, what it's supposed to be, or what you're supposed to get, or how we're supposed to do. I think everybody agrees on that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Who's next? Public comments?
There's someone in the back.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name's PJ Mills. I live at 166 Northeast 90th Street. I own that home. I used to come to these meetings until about 10 years ago, and I decided just to buy the home outright, because I love El Portal. As far as I'm concerned, you guys do a great job, a fantastic job. I don't want to move. I love it here. But I stopped coming to these meetings because this doesn't happen. I employ people and I pay them a lot of money. And when they come to me and ask for a raise, I look at their history and I pay them. God, I can't tell you how much I pay them. And it hurts. And I work for people like Oprah Winfrey and Tom Ford. I can afford them. I can afford them to pay what I pay them. I just want to know one thing. I realize that you got a substantial raise. I don't know what the percentage is. I wasn't here for the first part of the meeting. How do you justify that percentage raise that you've given yourself? There's nothing wrong with the raise. I don't care. We got the money. We pay taxes. We can undoubtedly afford it. How do you justify it? Tell me what you've done. I'll give you a raise. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good and welfare, public comment.
There's one more in the back.
Thank you very much, Madam Vice Mayor.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Ilya Cunningham. I live at 131 Northeast 87th Street. This is actually my first meeting since we moved into the neighborhood. I wanted a question on the record, and also if maybe the city attorney could address it. Do we have time before the next meeting for this not to become permanent, if it is not reconsidered this evening?
I can answer that. I'll answer that once we get to the answers. I have you.
Okay.
I'll answer
I
that.
wish he would pay attention, though. That'd be great. Thank you.
Anybody else for public comment?
Doesn't look like it.
Anybody else public comment? Going once. This is all for public comment. Going once. Going twice. No one else?
Are you going to tell us how you justified your raise?
Going once, going twice.
Yeah, yes.
The questions are coming.
Folks,
The answers are coming.
When he
I'm so
closes
sorry.
the meeting to the
Yeah,
public,
and then
it's coming to the council.
Yeah, and if I will for sure pose the question on the
Yes.
body as well.
There will not be
yes.
shouting.
This is not
from
the end.
All right. No more public comment? Okay. All right, back to the council.
Whoa, you did 3 times?
Yeah, I did 3 times.
Okay, so public, is it over?
We're good. I did 3 times. All right. Appreciate it. All right. Back to the council. Okay. I know that Councilperson Winters wants to jump in and say a few things. I have the answers to pretty much everybody's comments and questions here. Councilperson Winters, you want to go ahead and jump in first, and then I'll start to do the answers and stuff.
I would love to give all the correct facts to everyone here tonight, but I feel that there's other council members that want to speak first, and then I can finish.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, I definitely want to go. Okay, so let me just say this. Let me go to my vote. All right, let's start there. Okay. So for everybody who passed around the flyers, or who made the flyer, or who made the posts, who brought you all out today, a few things. The first thing is that they should have explained, which they didn't, which I understand, because with everything is, you know, gossip, and everything is more entertaining when it's just straight out and easy to understand. 3,000 to 67,000. What is going on? But at that same meeting, the individual who created the flyers and sent them out and did the emails and did the posts and things like that, what they left off were the conditions. And the conditions went like this. And if you look at the video, and I encourage all of you guys to look at the video of that meeting and look at how long it took me to make my final decision, and look at how I had Councilperson Winters, who came up with this idea, how I had him read the conditions again as I was thinking about it. And so basically what it looks like is this. And not saying that I'm 100% for it, which is why it took me so long to vote for it, but it basically goes like this. So since 1992, we've been at $3,000 a year. Not $7,000. I heard $7,000. Some residents called me, were like, you guys been paid $7,000? I was like, no, it's been $3,000 a year since 1992. So I brought up a resolution that said, well, you know what? I think we should, after, what has it been? It's 1992, it's been almost 30 years. I think we should bring the council up to whatever $3,000 a year was in 1992, what is it today? It was like $7,000 something or whatever. I said, okay. I said, if we haven't changed that in like almost 30 years, we're probably not going to touch it again for another 20 to 30 years. I said, so let me think forward. So I'll bring everybody, 7,000 is the current, 2025, let's go to 10,000. Probably not going to touch it for another 30 years, 10,000. All right. But 10,000 for the council, the 3 council members. I did for the vice mayor, I raised it up to 27,000, and for the mayor, I raised it up to 49. That was my original. Now, in that discussion, Councilperson Winters then came up with his idea of the 67. But let me tell you why I voted for that. Right? And look at the video. I want you guys to look at the video if you get a chance. Go to YouTube and look at the video so you can see. The reason why I voted for that was the conditions. And basically what it boiled down to was the 67,000 was like a performance pay or merit pay. So it came with conditions. So for every quarter, so it's 67,000 a year. For every quarter, for every 3 years, you have to hit a certain condition.
3 months.
Well, three months. Every 3 months, you have to hit a certain condition. 67,000 a year. So for 3 months, let's say October, November, December. In October, November, December, and it was based around community initiatives and community events, which we don't have anymore. Which a lot of residents say, Mayor, I love when we had community event. We should get back. I love to get out with my neighbors and things like that. So it went like this. October, I'm giving an example. October to December, 3 months, 1 quarter. In that period of that quarter, you have to do two community events, 2 community-wide events. So let's say I do a Halloween block party and I do a Christmas holiday block party, which a Christmas holiday block party is something I've always wanted to do. The pay for those events would come out of the 67,000. If you don't do the 2 events in that quarter, between October and December, guess what you get at the end of that quarter? You get, it might be ridiculous, but I'm telling you how it happened.
Please, order.
If you, if you do not have the event, then you revert back to the $3,000 a year level. Okay? You,
Would it be like soliciting for re-election during those events?
for every quarter, you had to achieve the events. You had to achieve the conditions. It was not only events, it was also initiatives that you had to create for the community. Because of that, when I looked at that evening and the next day, and I looked at the events that I wanted to do, and the events that it would take to achieve the conditions, I would end up with, at the end of the year, $12,000. It was $12,300. So my essential raise would be $12,300. That was my raise. Because, because of the conditions that you have to meet every quarter. There are many different events, conditions, and initiatives that I would be starting. As a matter of fact, for everyone, to answer some of the questions as I get into that and tie that in, for everyone who was wondering about street repair, the individuals that sent out the information about this vote that occurred at that meeting last week, I'm confused why they didn't send you guys out, because at the exact same meeting, I passed $700,000 at the same meeting. $700,000, no taxpayer funds, for public safety, water and sewer improvements, roadway and infrastructure improvements, roadway safety, environmental improvements, green space and park improvements, tree planting and maintenance, and roadway divisions and safety. That's for street repair. $700,000. As a matter of fact, that agenda item, the municipal payment of village council was F5. This was F6 for road repair. Mr. Steer, I hear you yelling out from the back, and you know what I've done for that street, and we'll leave that there. I actually also told you, Mr. Steer, that I am going to be fixing that particular pothole because I had just passed this last week, $700,000 for these improvements. I said that I will be fixing that particular pothole during the month of August. So, so to answer the question,
How much of that was for the traffic circle? $560,000 traffic circle, half of which is our funds, half of which is the state at the corner of 91st and 2nd Avenue? Like, where's the report on that that suggests that lives are going to be saved? I'm sorry, I don't want to talk about it. This is unusual times.
so for everybody who wants street repair and road repair addressed, that's being addressed. Okay. The next thing.
Wait, just on the street, you promised last year that
For everyone, I'll answer some, but for everyone, you guys, good and well, fair and public comment is where you're not supposed to be yelling from the crowd. Okay. I read that in there was street safety and road safety, and that would be the street humps. Okay. That being said, let's go over some of these comments and questions and answer these. But real quick, some of the other conditions that I would have hit would be a Child Appreciation Day. I always wanted to do one of those because we do have a lot of new young families in El Portal, and I think a Child Appreciation Day would be a huge village-wide event that I think the residents would appreciate. With that Child Appreciation Day, I did already have an idea of, and I've reached out to the individuals, an idea of, dunk the mayor. I think that would be really good for the residents. You guys can dunk me if you hate me, and send me in the water. I think that I already had the quotes for a Ferris wheel that we could put back here for that Child Appreciation Day, small mechanical bulls, and other situations for that Child Appreciation Day. Also, one of the events that I had for one of the quarters would have been I Love My Dog Day. We have a lot of residents who have a lot of animals and a lot of dogs throughout the community. They love their dogs. I had already reached out earlier this week. I had already reached out to organizations who would bring in dog obstacle courses and things like that. Also, a holiday block party. Holiday block party would have been one of my most expensive out of the 67,000 events, only because for this holiday block party, I was going to, for whatever block, quote unquote, wins the block party, and I was going to do a fun kickoff event associated with that event, which would have been like I was going to get like a big lottery ball type of thing, and I was going to have the children come here, and they were going to pick out a lottery ball and see what block wins the holiday block party. Wait 1 second, this is leading somewhere. And then with that, I would subsidize that block with the professional lighting and things like that would be subsidized out of it. Of course, there's cleanup after the block party, and there will be other elements in the block party. I was going to do the horse rides and things like that in the block party. That would be an annual event, holiday block party for the village of El Portal. One of my other events, you guys know we have done a river cleanup, but we only could afford to do it once a year in the past. I was going to ramp that up to once a quarter, but it wasn't going to be in my opinion, it wasn't going to be part of my things that I kept as far as my conditions. That was going to be an extra thing that I paid for, was that cleanup, right? Because that cleanup only is kind of comes to about like $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 more or less to pay for that cleanup. Okay. You also have senior appreciation luncheons. I was going to do those. I was going to start to have senior appreciation luncheons. There's a company that I reached out to, and they deal with, and I reached out to them, and then I went to one of their sessions. What was it, day before yesterday? I went to one of their sessions, and they specialize in like individuals with memory loss, especially seniors with memory loss. And through art and things like that, they kind of re-jog their past memories. So I was going to start senior appreciation luncheons, okay? Also, an El Portal music showcase. You have a lot of El Portal residents over the years that either are singers or parts of bands and things like that. I was going to rent lawn chairs. They can bring their own blankets. I was going to pay for, you have El Portal residents who own their own food trucks and some who are caterers. I was going to pay for all of the food for that event, and the El Portal residents can show up and they can do that for free. And we would have the El Portal residents who are in bands or singers, they would perform. I would rent a stage from the county. And then at the end of the night, it would be done in the winter months, so it's not a lot of mosquitoes outside. I was planning on doing it in the Horace Mann Field. At the end of the night, I would have like a big closing artist that we would have to pay for. It would be all the El Portal residents doing their music showcase during the afternoon, the evening. At the end of the night, I'd do like a Casey and the Sunshine Band or somebody like that, right? Under a big white tent. I also was going to do a first responder appreciation event. There's a lot of El Portal residents who are first responders, and this was going to be for any El Portal resident who's a first responder, or if El Portal residents have a family member who's a first responder, between nurses, paramedics, police, firefighters, armed forces, dispatchers, and those of the such. And that was going to be another event. Now, because of that, and that's just an example, because of that, and when I kind of priced everything all out, then out of that 67,000, I would have been brought down to about 12,300, 12,200. Now, that may not be the best way of doing it, but I'm just letting you know what my mind frame was at the time to give this a chance through a vote. So when you hear 3,000 to 67,000, that's not accurate. Because if you don't hit the conditions in the quarter, then you revert back to the 1992 $3,000 level. So if there's if there are individuals, let's say me as a mayor, let's say I say, you know what? I don't want to do that. I don't want to be part of this $67,000 situation. I just continue to do what I've always done. And I stayed at $3,000 a year. So there was an option in there. So it was like a performance option, merit pay, performance pay option. Now, you might disagree with it, but that's the reason why I kept, and go look at the video, go look at the meeting, because it took me a long time to get there. And that's what I was thinking about when I was going through all of that in my mind. And I said, and I said, as Mr. Steer said when he was up here, I said, you know what? I said, this is very innovative. It may work. I said, but this could be a debacle. I'll probably bring it back. That's what I said at the meeting, right when I voted for it. I said, I'm going to give it a chance. I'm going to give it thought. It's very innovative. I said, but this could be a debacle. So let me get to some of your questions now. No, we can't have yelling from the audience. No, public comment is closed, you guys. All right, so let's get to some of these. An individual said, look at this other thing, jazz in the grass. I had all type of stuff. Business mixer for Elper Top business owners, all type of stuff. But anyway, there's this other thing. Okay, so for those who can't make it to the council meetings, I always understand that. I never penalize individuals for that. Okay, if you whenever our council meetings always take place on the fourth Tuesday. The only time it doesn't take place on the fourth Tuesday of the month is if it is like a holiday month. So December is a little bit earlier. We don't go down to, that in the holidays. And for Thanksgiving, it's a little bit earlier in the month. All right? For every other month, it's the fourth Tuesday of the month. Okay? If for some reason you can't come to the council meetings, you can always reach out to me. I will tell you exactly what's going on. I'm the most accessible mayor in Miami-Dade County, bar none. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. So my cell number is on the marquee outside, my card, everything. If you reach out to me, I'll get right back to you. Okay? If you email me, it'll take me a little bit more time, but if you want to get me right away, text me, call me. I have some residents, elderly residents that call me 2 in the morning, Mayor, I heard a sound. I walk over to their house. All right? So I'm always accessible through phone. Okay? So if you can't come and you're confused about something, or if you can't come, or if you say, Mayor, it's the fourth Tuesday, what's on this agenda, what's going on? I'll tell you everything. Okay? I'll let you know everything. So if you can come, that's fine, but if you can't come because of work and family and people have kids and things like that, reach out to me, you guys, and I'll let you know everything. Okay? Even if it's, and I don't know if he's here or not, but even if it's against me, Scott Colbrick, who was against the new launch property going up, Scott Colbrick, who wanted to do a lawsuit against the developers for a property that was going up. Leading up to the end, right before he was going to file his lawsuit, I was the one that he called on a Friday night, and I was the one sending him the resolutions, development agreement, explaining to him what the resolution said, even though he was against. We were on opposite sides of the thing. So if you reach out to me for any information, whether you agree with me or not, I'll get it right to you. I'll explain to you exactly what my thought process is, and we can debate it like that. And so the only thing I would say is for the individuals who sent this information out, whether you agree with it or not, they should have sent this information out with all of the facts. Okay. Another individual talked about the streets and parks, green space. I explained to you guys that I passed the $700,000 last meeting, the same meeting that this came up, for these particular items: green space, tree planting, tree maintenance, park improvements, road safety, road repair, and all those type of things. Okay. Next, it's somebody said $7,000 a year, it's $3,000 a year. Bring it back for a vote. This was Mr. Alvarez, and descending votes. Okay, so a couple of things. So for bringing it back for a vote, yes, it would have to be for reconsider or rescind. It would have to be the individuals who voted against it, right? So, or voted for it. So if you want to switch something, however it goes. So if 3 people voted for something and you want to take it away, it has to be one of the 3 people that voted for it that changes their mind to take it away. The individuals that voted against it can't come back and say, I don't want it. Well, we know you don't want it because you voted against it to begin with. So in this case, it would have to be either myself, Councilperson Lightfoot Ward, or Councilperson Winters that would have to bring this back to rescind this, okay? To rescind or reconsider.
That's for reconsideration. Rescind.
Okay.
One of you can do it. It's a different process, though. Right here.
It would have to be one of the 3 of us, all right? I agree with you, and I can see what you're saying, Ms. Hector, about the fabric of El Portal changing with the small community feel and things like that. You have a lot of new site plans, a lot of new homes, a different feel. Also in that meeting, which we fought for and got back, because if you guys know, when President Trump came in, this is not to get political, they froze federal funding. So a lot of the grants and things that we got were frozen. Fought hard, got that back. And on the same meeting last Tuesday, F2 is 80 trees that we're planting in El Portal. So getting to kind of what you're saying about, you know, just like the fabric and the way the community is, we're trying to find that balance. And, you know, by continuing to plant 80 trees, 72 trees a year, we hope that we can still kind of feel out what El Portal always was, a walkable community, a beautiful community. It's difficult, right? Because when we do have new homes, and these homes are much different from, you know, the El Portal homes that we've always had in 1920s and 19-teens and, you know, 1930s and 1950 homes. It's difficult when you have more modern homes going up, but there's an aspect of, you know, legally what we can avoid. Now, also in the same meeting, that's what it is. Also in the same meeting, what I brought up, look, I have the answers. If people don't want to listen to the answers, they don't have to listen to the answers. Also in the same exact meeting, I wonder why they didn't bring this up. F3 resolution. Architectural, Landscaping, and Environmental Mayoral Advisory Board. This was last meeting. This was last week. Architectural, Landscape, and Environmental Mayoral Advisory Board. A board of who? I'm putting residents on that board. You don't like that the new houses are too modern? Architectural. Landscaping. You want more trees. You don't think that people, when they make new site plans and new property, should be able to cut down trees. Landscaping. And Environmental Mayoral Advisory Board. That's F3 from the same exact meeting. Why didn't they tell you about that? Why didn't they put that in the flyer and pass it out? Next thing, F4. F4, Coastal Mayors Mayoral Advisory Board. For those of you who are concerned about the river, water quality, blueways and greenways, flooding, Coastal Mayors Mayoral Advisory Board. That's F4 resolution from the last meeting. And that will address all of those issues. All in the last meeting. $700,000, road repair, street repair. Tree planting, 80 trees, free. Architectural, landscape environmental, a mayoral advisory board, coastal mayors, mayoral advisory board. It was all done right here. All right. Next, Ms. Turner, community, knowing the neighbors. Well, that's something also that, you know, I thought that in my mind, I thought that, you know, establishing this with the community events and the community initiatives that you had to have to hit the conditions every quarter, that would force us to bring back great community events, paid for out of that tranche of money. Okay? All right? Now, if there was funding, because see, now there is funding for things, which is why it was implemented in this way. Now, you may not like that it's implemented in this way, and it may be implemented a better way, another way. But the reason why we're not necessarily having to be forced, but now we can do it, is because the money wasn't there before. Okay? It wasn't there before. All right? Mr. Rojas spoke about streets and green space and parks. I think we covered that. Mr. Pascal Dupaul talked about the sacrifice, the good of the others. Thank you very much, Pascal. I heard you on that. Mr. Paul, how do we fix the $67,000 vote? Ms. Dupaul, that's how we do it between the reconsider or the rescinding of the vote. Even though you guys nationally, you know, we are off in August, as the rest of the nation is. We come back into September. As far as meetings go, I'll be here every day working as usual. But I am looking to possibly try to do a special meeting for a few different things that I want to get started on, and I don't want to wait. Therefore, there may be a meeting that is in the middle of August. I'm looking at either August 12th or the 19th, which are both Tuesdays, I feel. Okay. All right, but that's the way of doing it, Ms. DuPaul, to bring it back, rescind it, or reconsider it, and it would take, you know, us to do that and put it on the agenda. All right, so that's the way we would do that. That's a question that somebody asked later. I'm going to get to that. Okay. Mr. John Mosley, how do we justify the raise, the reason for the raise? I told you what I was thinking when I voted for it. Okay. The rest of the council can speak, or the other two can speak if they wanted to later on. What else?
Are you over?
No. Mr. Dreyer and Mr. Dreyer, we knew that we were getting paid $3,000. I understand that. The only thing I would say is this. I would say that there's a lot that goes on that a lot of people don't know about. And I said this in the last meeting the other day. You know, you don't get credit for what you stopped from happening that was bad for the village. And there's a lot that went on when I walked in to be mayor. And you guys have heard about some of this stuff. There's a lot going on. FEMA and money and a lot of stuff that I walked into. There's a lot that was happening. And to turn everything around and bring it to a place where we now are going into a surplus and to make things more efficient and to change things around is a lot. And if, like I said, in 1992, $3,000 meant a lot different than what it means right now in 2025. Okay. As far as paying for, how do we pay for the raise and the budget? So there's money there. So the Cavisa development just went on now. What I will say is, it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be spent, right? Because I do want to have, you never know what might happen, I do want to have savings. You do want to have that, okay? You never know when a hurricane's coming. You never know when there's an emergency. In El Portal, we are small, all right? But there is money in there. Now, is there money for $67,000 for 5 people? That's another question, all right? That's another question. But like I said, and it's not, you know, it's not the best thing, but like I said, that would mean that everybody would have to get paid $67,000, and that means they have to hit the conditions, and therefore that money would have to go back into El Portal, the vast majority of it, right? Now, and that's how that would be. How you doing, sister? For the, I'm glad you brought your 5-year-old and 7-year-old here. I remember when my son was 5-year-old, I used to bring him to all the meetings also, and he would speak during Good and Welfare. And I don't disagree with what you're saying. What you brought up are great points. The Cavistas, the Barrington brothers, though, it's not Adam Newman. So that's the Barrington. Yeah, it's the Barrington. It's a different developer, the Barrington brothers. I think that was, I don't know if you had a question in that, but I think that was that. Yeah, okay, perfect, yeah. All right, so that right there, it would be a policing of kind of like the village as a whole and ourselves and the administration. So for example, because, you know, the payments that we get has to come from administration. It comes from the finance department. That's how our checks, right? Every time a check is written, it's out of the finance department. So if within that quarter, I mean, my community events and initiatives that I have to begin during that quarter, everyone will know about them. You know, it's not a secret holiday block party, all right?
Mayor, you're at 25 minutes.
So I understand, but I'm answering questions that they asked.
Yeah, but you just go on.
I'm going to take at least 20.
Well, I mean, everybody throws events, so that you could say that for. And so that's why I said this may not be the correct way of doing it, but I'm just telling you guys what.
Mr. Mayor.
Could we please have people stop yelling out from the audience?
Mr. Mayor.
But
pardon me for intervening. I'm watching the expressions of everybody here. You got a lot to say, and I'm not going to say anything against what you're saying. I am going to say why these people are here and why they have talked and told us, asked us to do something, reverse it. I move to reconsider item 5F5 from the meeting on July 22nd. There are enough people here that basically have said that in more ways than one.
I second.
I would also like to say that I really am, now that we're in this conversation, I would really like for Councilman Winters to have an opportunity to explain to us the 2 questions that were posed by the audience, because I too am very, very interested. How did you come up with that number, and how did you intend on paying for this? Because if I'm to be very honest, Mayor, your explanation of how the $67,000 was supposed to be utilized is not what I understood sitting here. In that meeting, Councilman Winters explicitly requested an increase in discretionary funds into the account where we would pay for events. And then I think, and I am not infallible, so I encourage you all in this meeting to go and look at the YouTube video. There was this point where I'm not sure whom, but the question was explicitly posed, would the funds would the funding from this event come from the compensation? And I believe that Councilman Winters explicitly said no. So that is not what I understood. In addition to that, in my previous life, I was a chief of staff for a local elected official and also served as one of the public affairs lead roles. How most municipalities pay for events is they have a public affairs department that is funded, and there is someone who executes the events. I am not an event coordinator. What I am is an elected official who is keenly aware of the importance of the seat that I sit in. I do a lot of work that is not compensated. Who I am is I'm an attorney. I have a law degree from the University of Florida. I have a master's degree from FIU. I have an undergraduate degree from the University of Miami. My husband is one of the best lawyers in Miami-Dade County. Monique Martin, shout out. And we also really understand how important it is to have good people in government, because government doesn't necessarily become innately good. You do have to have a lot of good people doing the right thing. And I hate that I have to meet a lot of you in this capacity, because I am for sure here trying to do the right thing. And I appreciate the support. And I do think as a body, we have done a lot of good work. We have done code work that I'm proud of. Some of the development work we've done, I stand behind, I am proud of. This is not one of those things, and I explicitly stated it in that meeting. I will always tell you the truth. And my truth is that it was clear from the inception of this idea that it was $67,000 for compensation, because Councilman Winters believed that whatever he was being paid, he needed to be paid more. And he came up with that assessment after being in the seat for 2 months that we have occupied for years doing this work. You can do a community event without taking it from your compensation. It is what is done in other municipalities. To do it any other way, I think, would be folly. This is something that needs to be vetted, talked about. I do not think, and I also think two things are true. I think this is a bad decision. I do think we've done good things on this body. I do think a reason why a lot of you have never been in here is because we haven't done anything to put you in this room. We have been good stewards. Yes. We have been good stewards to the village. We have done good work, and we haven't asked for anything back. I'm saying we need to continue to be good stewards. Part of that is maybe there does need to be an increase. I cannot imagine a world where this is the increase, right? I think that there is somewhere in the middle that we need to have a robust discussion on. I really want Councilman Winters' feet to be held to the fire, because I do think that we have thus far been a very civil, coordinated body, and that is unusual in Miami-Dade County. You usually have people who are self-interested, backbiting. There has been none of that on this council, and it has been a beautiful thing to be a part of. Councilman Winters has joined this body with his unusual ideas. He's been pushing different agendas, and I want someone to allow him the opportunity to stand behind what it is that he has done, stand behind the impression that he has created in this room that reflects on all of us. It is not just you, because when people are sending these flyers around in the neighborhood, my neighbors are coming out and speaking to me. I don't appreciate that, because I voted no. It will always be a no. There will never be a number that anyone can float in front of me that would make me deliberately set aside my morals and my values. This is community service. We are serving the community. And there is no compensation to that. The good and the compensation is in knowing that you are doing good, that you are doing good work, and that you are putting in the time to move your community forward. So I do want Councilman Winters to have the grand opportunity to explain to this very full room the reasoning behind his initial motion.
What an introduction. Wow. Thank you.
Madam Vice Mayor, would you like him to speak now or after the vote?
I want him to speak now.
Okay.
So that was quite an introduction. Now, I'm going to ask everyone, please refrain from yelling out. I'm going to ask for some hands raised. Raise your hand if you contacted me this week after that vote passed. Not one of you? Wait a second. For the 3 to 4 dozen people that contacted me and I explained it to them, they didn't show up tonight? That's very unusual. I wonder why. Because I want everyone here to be informed. My main thing at every single council meeting is that the people that come to these council meetings are vital to this community. You are important to how we make the votes and where we go to make the right way that El Portal goes in the correct direction. Now, if you didn't know, because I've heard a lot of misleading statements today, there was a lot of accountability required. And putting my feet to the fire, that was what the accountability was for. I could tell you, some of my council members on my left and right do not do anything for this council. They do not do anything for the city. They come here and they make a vote. They have not done events for the city like myself. I've only been here 7 months, 8 months. They do not do events for the city. They haven't done town halls for the city. They've done nothing but come here and show a vote. I'm done with that. When we have an elected official, hey, I asked for, please, thank you. When we have elected officials come here, they are giving their time, which is more valuable than money. Now, if you want to talk about money, you guys all know that I gave a roof to a lady 2 weeks ago, was it a month ago? That came in this exact place and said, hey, I can't afford a roof. And I gave them the materials to put a roof on their house. I didn't do that saying, hey, El Portal, give me money. I did that on my own thing. When Horace Mann needed instruments for the program, I went and donated $100,000 for their beautiful orchestra. Now, this is beyond the, stop, please stop right now. This is like dealing with my 5-year-old if you cannot keep yourselves held back until I finish. I'm sorry, you need to wait. Stop it. Can I have a police officer please have the people stop yelling at me? Mr. Mayor? This is not allowed. This is point of order. Point of order, please do. Fire me.
Excuse me, you guys.
Do it.
Excuse me, guys.
Okay.
Yeah, excuse me.
Let me read from this because we have some people that are not able to understand. So this is not about raises. This is about recognizing actual work being done, and for those who are not doing work, they're not going to get paid for anything. When there's accountability for the staff and for the elected officials here, suddenly you're going to have things that are done for the city. They are not passing things. Why do I have potholes? Why do I have these trees falling in my house? Why do I have these problems? What are we doing for you? If I need to go, I need to go. If they need to go, please let them go as well. But now what we've done is created a new income for those who are not like myself, who have money to give away, or people who are retired. Those are the only people that can come on these councils and actually give to you. I want those who are coming here saying, I worked until 7 o'clock, and my child's in daycare now to come here. I want these people to be able to feel that they could run for council. Run against me, run against them. Please, I'm sick of seeing this council run unopposed for over a decade. I'm the first person to run against a council member in that decade. You know why? Because he was going to, the person I ran against was going to everyone's house and saying, how can we make the village more money? Well, your grass isn't the right height. I don't like that you have a fence over here. Is this the right size or the right color for your walls? And then I said, wow, we're basically going around and yelling at people and fining them for money for the village. Well, there's ways to bring money to the village, and this man over here has found ways to bring it. Now, he brought up also that Mr. Scott Kobrick, who's not here tonight, I wish he was, is in a lawsuit against the city. Now, if Mr. Scott Kobrick's lawsuit was not there, did you know that this development behind me, which was already approved, would be being built right now? And because we're expecting about 3 years of this lawsuit to happen, that's $1.1 million a year. So that's $3.3 million over the next 3 years as they hold this back in court that El Portal is not getting. Is anyone going to go and protest that? Raise your hand, yes? Okay, she's going to protest it. Wait. And I agree with you. All this should have been said. One of my main agenda things that I want to do over this next year is create an app where I can have, I do not agree that we are promoting or saying the amount of information that needs to go out to the residents. I am 100% on board with this. Yes, you have to go and look at our website. You have to see what is on the agenda. You have to look at the emails and be actually on the email list to get all this information. I believe that you should get the emails and you should get everything freely. Download an app. Hey, this week is a council meeting. Okay, what's on the agenda? It came to your app. I agree with this. When I want to get it done, you know how much it costs? 80 grand. Who's going to pay for that? It's on the budget. So I'm going to start working on my own, building out of my own time, trying to make sure that all of you are informed every minute of the day. I don't want there to be anything. I want transparency in this council. That's why I ran here. You're here because you're upset because of a number. This number, 68,000 or 76,000, it's not going to be that amount. If these council members do exactly what they did last year, they will make exactly $3,000. There will not be any type of raise for them. It will be feet in the fire. You will get nothing when you do nothing for the city, and the city will continue to downgrade. Now, if you guys don't know, we almost lost being a city within the last decade. The whole FEMA fiasco, we had missing money. There were checks made out to cash for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and no one... That's not true. Okay.
Got the refund except $100,000, which the mayor is still working on it.
So did you find out about that check that was made out to a consultant for 6 figures?
Up to the mayor, he got the federal funds and the state.
The missing money did not get refunded.
Last week's meeting, that there's only $100,000 left.
That's from what was paid to FEMA, not the consulting fees for that.
Vote already, vote.
Oh my goodness. So those of you who are willing to listen and have an open mind, so as a result, most council seats have gone unopposed because working professionals simply could not afford to serve. I've changed that. Without raising taxes, we created a performance-based system that demands results, rewards participation, and opens the doors for passionate, capable residents to run for office and help shape the future of El Portal. I want you to know, there are no new taxes. I'm sorry, again, I've asked that I please have the floor. I was quiet the whole time, even though I wanted to burst out with all the lies I heard and misinformation, okay? I was quiet. Please give me the same respect. No new taxes were created for this compensation adjustment, okay? We agree. I agree with you. Taxes are high. I want to find ways to lower them. Today, when we did our vote for the millage, I was very adamant I would not have it raised. And it was not raised, but that doesn't help the fact that we do have taxes going up. Pay is now tied to performance. So the town halls, the projects, the public endeavors are now mandatory. That means you have to have something going on here. I'm going to give you the list I've already come up with. If you miss the requirements, the pay is deducted, and this is accountability in action. We've already lost grant opportunities. We lost our lobbyists. We've lost a lot of stuff. We're absorbing quite a lot of extra work for ourselves. I'm coming in here 2 to 5 times a week. I'm working from home. I'm working on this council. I'm giving up my own portions of my own job to do this. Yes, I did this as a voluntary position, but I'm also giving everything I can. And that's the plan, is to give everything I can and continue to give it all. Would you rather me work at Chick-fil-A for $25 an hour as a manager to make the exact same amount? Okay, let's continue. Neighboring cities, good. So every one of you should do the same if you're complaining about this price. Yes, go work at Chick-fil-A if this is a high price for you. This is the same price as someone who works at fast food. Go do it if you think it's a high price. Neighboring cities do pay less, okay? Miami Shores does pay less. They have full infrastructure. They have full support staff. They have people to fill out and fulfill the whims and the will of the council. Unfortunately, we do not have that. We have a clerk. We have a manager. Are you coming in here and helping? Are you coming in here and talking about your neighbors? When you come in, you say, I do not want you to have that fence. I do not want you to have that pool. You're the one that comes in here every single month, and you say, I don't want anyone to vote for that person. No houses that are bigger than mine. You do this to our own communities. You are basically fighting against the village of El Portal. When they pay $1,000 for a variance, you're the one that comes and says, well, I don't care if you spend $1,000 out of your pocket. I want you to not do it because I don't want you to have a bigger house than me. You need to step back because I know you're the one that put out the flyers, and you're the one that put those lies on the flyers. Yeah, I know. The changes allow working professionalism to run, not just retirees or those without income. No matter what has happened, a proposal to increase council discretionary budgets was going to be scheduled, and it was not voted on. That means there is no higher discretionary budget. This means I'm now expecting to do all these things I'm about to tell you out of my own pocket because I don't see myself getting that vote for the discretionary funds. So 2 seats are open next election. They've already announced it. This is the time to run for council. It's time to shape our village. If you are a working parent, if you have someone that has a full-time job and you're like, I don't have time for this, Now you can make the time and make an impact in our village. You don't need to be rich or a retiree, which is currently what you need to do in order to run for government. We don't want that. I want every single person here to say, I want to be on this council. I'm going to show up here every month, 2-3 times a month sometimes, and make a difference for this community. I don't care if you vote me out. I'm doing this because I love El Portal. I plan on dying here. I love my house. I love my family. I love my neighbors. I did this because I was not happy with the way things were running. That's why I ran to this position. If you vote me out, I'm okay with that. I will go back to my life, I will go back to my family, and I will live here in El Portal because I still will love El Portal. I heard a lot of comments tonight. Some comments came from some people who used to be on the council, and they said, I cannot believe there's a $3,000 to $67,000 budget. But that same council member who came up here, previous one, if you didn't know, he left after 1 month of being on the council. He cost us $14,000 as a special election because he left the council early. Where was he thinking about our money
I
when
need
he...
to correct the record on that. He served 1 full term and then retired or resigned 2 months into his second term because he got a call from the FBI and did not want to be associated with the other activities going on in the council.
Okay, good. So he did cause a special...
I have his seat.
And he did have a special election, is that correct?
It was a special election. There was 2 candidates. I won.
And the FBI did they call other people on the council?
There were 2 FBI investigations into the mayor at the time. There were 2 Dade County Commission on Ethics investigations into the mayor at the time.
And why were these investigations happening?
Directly tied to the handling of the FEMA recovery, including asking the interim police chief at the time to forge documents.
So there's a lot of problems that you guys see that has happened in the past.
One second. I was not the mayor at the time.
Correct.
Yes. No, that is true. That
Correct
is
the
true.
record.
Yeah, that is a very important distinction. Yes.
So I'm going to try and tell you a few things here because I've talked for a while, and it was sad because I told everyone that talked to me before the meeting, don't come. We're not voting on anything today. But all those dozens of people didn't show up here because I said, don't worry, we're safe. And instead, I have these people here that are lovely, and you guys all have great ideas, and you have a passion for the city, and I appreciate the passion, but there has been misinformation. And if you don't think there's accountability right now, you can keep voting for the same exact thing here in El Portal, which is our politicians do nothing. Only one person really does anything. I'm trying to do something here. But if we keep it going in this direction, we're not really actually helping the city. And we have a big project about to happen. We have this trailer park that was converted into a big empty lot where homeless people live, is about to go through some renovations and it becomes something new. We need to have all hands on deck that actually care about this and are meeting with everything that's going on. We need to then present that to the entire neighborhood with transparency. So I look at this history, and when hiring, let's look at the council. Current history, who will receive the money? Can I ask if you think that every single person up here is going to receive all that money? I would actually probably bet all of my salary that it will not be 100% of what they said, the $67,000. I will bet it. Because I don't think every single one of these people up here is going to follow through with showing up to every single meeting for the next year or going to follow through with doing multiple events every quarter. It's not going to happen. But we know what will happen is in November, after you see 1 year of suddenly people being engaged, you'd be like, wow, I know this neighbor now who's 2 blocks away. I didn't know before because we did this event. Or now, wow, this tree is not about to fall over on a house because we did a special tree trimming ceremony or something. So let me go to my last points here, and I know everyone's waiting for me to finish, but someone said we are losing our character. And I think that with these services and these new events and community outreach, we're going to get it back. These are some of my ideas for El Portal. Oktoberfest, German-themed, kid-friendly street party. Number 2, Safe Street Halloween. Block off some streets in Sherwood Forest. Make a safe street for our children to be able to walk around with some food trucks and some nice things. Number 3, village-wide yard sale. Everyone who wants to sell something, we create a little tiny village-wide yard sale every 3 months. And we allow those who want to sell to do it. And we'll do the actual event notifications and marketing for it. So if you have something in your garage you want to sell, we'll have little tables around here, and we'll get everyone in Miami-Dade to come out here and buy stuff. And we can give this out free to the residents so that you can declutter your homes if that's how you feel want to do. 4th of July barbecue, something we've already done forever, but we haven't been able to do it. No one's taking it on because it takes a lot of work and effort. Cinco de Mayo Mariachi Night. Celebrate with mariachi bands, food, and cultural fun. We can bring out the heritage of the Mexicans. Community street walks and tours. Residents will walk through neighborhoods pointing out needed improvements, and they could talk with their local government about what they need to be done, because every single one of your voices counts when we're going through here. I might not know that this part of the sidewalk's cracked and it needs to be fixed, but you walk with me through the neighborhood and you say all the things that have to be done. We create this nice community walk where we decide and discuss how we can make the village better. 7, Bill of Rights Town Hall. I'm already doing this. If you guys don't know, I've been trying to give the rights back for a lot of the freedoms here that have been taken away. And if you have not gone to my village town halls, I really would love for you to come, because we are talking about giving freedom back to the citizens, okay? Indian Burial Ground Tour and talk, where basically we go to it and we see how we can take care of our Indian burial ground, which how many cities have that? We need to be able to take care of it and know about it. Number 9 and 10 are both river cleanup. River cleanup round 1, river cleanup round 2. Basically, organize the communities. Yes, we're already doing river cleanups, but have you guys gone to the rivers after the cleanups? It is still a mess. We still have debris floating. I have pictures that show the debris coming out yards and yards away from the booms that are stopping it from going to our dams. Mardi Gras Street Festival, a street festival in January, February with live bands, some beads, some food. Arbor Walk and Talk, basically a guided walk to learn and catalog Sherwood Forest trees. Number 3, Thanksgiving food drive, but instead of giving food to everyone else, we have people in El Portal that are needy. We want to help them out. This food drive would be for our own people. Now, if you don't know me, before I ran for office, when someone on next door would say, hey, I just got fined, or I can't afford to get my front door painted, I would go on next door and I'd say, hey, I'll come over and help you paint your front door. When my neighbor says, I don't know what to do, my AC's not running, I come over there and I change the elderly's air filter and help unclog your toes. I believe in community first. It is not the government's job to take care of you. I'm gonna reiterate that. I do not believe it's the government's job to take care of you. I believe as a citizen, it's everyone's job to take care of each other. And we need something to spark that fire, though. Right now, we're not seeing it. And if we create the spark, I think you guys are all the kindling that will allow it to continue to blaze and make the city great. Next, I want to do the 20-acre trash cleanup after we get permission from the neighbor over here, because we have some homeless people over there that are putting trash and tying them to trees. If you didn't know that, walk on the other side of this little river and take a look into El Portal right here. You will see tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of debris tied to trees. It's the most disgusting thing you've ever seen. And this homeless person believes he's helping out God or something by doing this. We need to get people out there to help clean up this debris. It's falling in the river, it's killing turtles. Neighborhood Lift Help Day, volunteer day for residents to help elderly and struggling neighbors. Next, 16, Music in the Forest, local musician concert and green space for a village park. It sounds like you have the same idea as myself, Mr. Mayor. Pet Parade and Adoption Day, also I think Mr. Mayor had one of those too. Community Arts Day, residents create art projects, murals, paintings. Compost and farming workshop, hands-on tutorial for backyard gardening, composting, and food sustainability. I thought about actually taking that one step further and creating a community garden where we can actually allow a self-regulating garden that is on timers that waters itself, so we can have a little area where people can put their gardening into, and we can have a community garden. Historical homes tours, because we have plenty of historical homes. A farmer's market. As you guys know, we don't have any farmer's market here. Why not have a monthly or seasonal open-air market with local vendors, especially people who live in El Portal? A community orchestra or a youth orchestra can meet inside of here. We can bring in children or adults from the community and have them learn and be on the orchestra and learn about playing instruments. I would be very happy to donate instruments to that as well, so people can learn. Maybe you wanted to learn violin, but you never did when you were in middle school or high school. Now would be a great time with community orchestra, and we don't want to make anything payable by the residents. We want to make it included. For the young kids, Pokemon Go Community Days. They do that every month, and we have multiple Pokestops here in El Portal. Great way to bring your kids out and have some nice activities. A Neighbor in Need weekends. Organize weekend events to assist residents who need homes. or home or yard work. Community service, some way to actually help the community. And so what we want to do is get together a town hall, the first thing, and go with the residents and talk about what community services are needed, what community events are needed. This is the reason why on this agenda for the pay raise, they require a town hall. Because I don't want this whole list to just be what I do. I want to have you guys come out to a town hall, and I will tell you what, I'm having a town hall in the next 2 months. It will be for the Bill of Rights. I would love to do another town hall in the next 3 months sometime and talk about what we can do to make this community better for you. And I'm happy to sit there and we can go through it all day. I'll order the pizza, I'll order the drinks. You just tell me what you want us to do to make this village more of a village. This is not a big city. There's more on us as a little village than it is a big city. Big cities have big government, lots of employees. We don't. We do a lot more work and we want to do it for you. Next. I'd like to do a tree lighting festival, but I don't want to step on the tree lighting of the Christmas. Village story time. This is fun for the kids. Art in the park. Now, I had an idea. As you guys know, Wynwood used to be a very ugly place. And then they took graffiti art, and they graffitied on walls, and it made it famous. We have some streets. They're going to get repaired soon. But it might be nice to have a community art day where we do some street art in the streets that make ugly streets look pretty until they get changed out. Fitness in the forest, group yoga, Tai Chi, Zumba.
Mayor, get control of this, please.
Then please, in November, vote us out if we're not doing all these things. Please do. That's fine. Please, no more calling up. But this is the whole thing behind this. Those of you who came here and told me that you worked till 7 o'clock last Tuesday night, now you have the ability to come here and give your time to the council because you can afford it. This is not, listen, I see a lot of everything here, and I understand a lot of people are confused, and a lot of people are angry. But there's no reason to be angry because, I'd like...
Mayor, we're now approaching more than 20 minutes on this session.
Resilience and Hurricane Prep Night. Public safety event to educate on hurricane preparedness, distributing kits.
Point of order, 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 point of order. Mayor, you spoke for 25 minutes. Councilperson Winters is now on minute 20 plus. We still have to bring this back to public discussion. Congratulations, everybody. You are going to get a chance to speak because there is going to be public discussion on the vote that is being called for. So you are going to each get to speak again. Now, is there a time limit for councilperson speaking, Mr. Mayor?
Not necessarily, no. There's
Very
nothing.
good. Continue, Mr. Winters.
But I would say, let me just say though, let me say this. I do want to point out that I was also answering and trying to address the questions and comments from the audience. Okay. Councilperson Winters.
Thank you. So I want to do a fix-it workshop for those people who cannot afford to fix their fences, they cannot afford to paint a section of their house or clean something, that we take care of our neighbors and our residents. And we go out and we do a fix-it workshop and help and volunteer our times to help the neighbors that are in need. I would like to do a sidewalk and pathway audit day where we walk the sidewalks and pathways and we audit them. We go through there and find broken sidewalks, missing curbs, so we're able to put this stuff on the agenda. So I will...
Even if you run everybody out of this room, I am still going to speak everything I have to say after this, and it
Great.
will not take 20 minutes, I promise you that.
So, sidewalk and pathway audit day. If you guys have not gone through the village and noticed certain things that have gone wrong with the village, there are a lot of problems in the infrastructure. There are street signs that are 3 feet from the next street sign, changing them 5 miles per hour. There are cracks in sidewalks, there are potholes in here. This is part of that audit. And if anyone is not taking care of it right now, at least we'll be able to know that you'll know that it's gone to our ears. Beautifying the boulevard is cleaning up the landscaping on Northeast 2nd. Flood risk mapping day, public effort to map and photograph flood-prone areas. Rain garden building day, utility box art day, park equipment refreshing day, senior day for local residents, where we do social activities, wellness, and games with our senior residents. These are just a few that I came up with within the last few days. That means if we go through this for the next 10, 11 months, you're going to see all these different opportunities are going to be presented. And I promise you that there are a lot of residents that are excited about this. I promise you that they know about the price increase. There was no misunderstanding from 6,000 to 67,000. Yes, I would like everyone here to listen to what I said last week at the meeting, because as I heard everyone speak today, they were all very misinformed with so much of the information that was given there. And yes, Hyundai was $6,595 in 1992 for an Excel base. Yes, in March. Oh, then you got ripped off in 1993 because I got some bills of sales here too. So now I also had proof on everything else that I brought up with backing of it. I'm not trying to pull anything over your eyes. I gave everything out in the open for everyone to listen to. This being all said, I'm sure everyone here has their opinion, and I would like every person here today to take my card and give me a call this week and talk with me. That's why I'm here. This is why the people who are not here tonight are not here, because they did call me up. I am like the mayor. I am going to give you my card. You can contact my cell phone. You can contact my email. We can talk about this. I have no problem to do it. But as everyone said here, this needs to go before a referendum. It needs to go into a council meeting to get voted on. We cannot do a vote with a motion here tonight without putting it first in public affairs, in the public works. So in September, if we put this through, and when we put this through, you're going to have other people show up with counter ideas from what you have, because they're going to go the opposite way. And at that point, we'll have a nice, fair discussion between two sides of our village, not one side, okay? I'm here. Please raise your hand if you like my card tonight. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so I got 5 people that are willing to discuss this. Everyone else doesn't want to talk about it. Okay. So for now, my closing arguments are there's now accountability. I have now burnt my bridges with my fellow council people to explain this. Nothing I want to do in the end. What I want to do is what's best for this city, what's best for this village. And if you think that doing this for $3,000 is going to keep people coming in and going against us, look at the history. History repeats itself. I want you guys to run for council. I want those who said they can't afford to leave their job to run for council. I want you to do this. So if you have the time and energy, please, I don't care if you run against me, take their free seats because they're leaving council. Take whatever you need to do. But we need people on here that care about the village and are going to put the time and effort into the village. Excuse me? Are we yelling out at me again? Fine, I'm done with this conversation.
We have a motion and second. Clerk Jacoby?
No, we have discussion left among the council, and then it will be open to public commentary, correct?
Point of order. I did move a motion.
And
It
I
was
seconded it.
second.
And
So you have a motion, you have a second.
We have a second. We have a motion and a second.
It's now debating amongst the council.
Yes.
Yep.
There's no public debate, but.
There's
you
no public
can-
debate?
Not on the motion to reconsider.
No. It's
Not
just-
on the motion to reconsider.
Yeah, on the actual
Okay,
reconsideration.
then I
there-
will,
there
then
would
I
be.
will take my full time.
Right, but not unless she's.
Okay.
So then you would vote now and then you can set it for whatever meeting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, set it for your next meeting.
For sure. So we have a motion and we have a second.
What
We're
is
gonna-
this motion for?
Motion is to reconsider the vote from Tuesday.
So we're trying to vote to put it back on another
No.
Tuesday night meeting?
No.
I'm sorry, I didn't ask everyone on. I'm asking
No,
the
we're
lawyer.
voting to reconsider the item.
Reconsider
We're
the-
reconsidering the item.
We
So
voted
there's a
it.
vote to reconsider the item, and then we're going to talk about the item.
You would vote to
Yeah.
reconsider, see if that motion passes.
Passes.
Mhm.
If that motion passes, then you would set it on an agenda,
Yeah.
provide notice for it, and then you have full debate at that time.
Now, here's what's really going to chap everybody. We won't have time to have that meeting till September, end of. 2 checks will already have been cut to each one of us by then.
Not this.
Nope.
Yes, it is. I was very clear about that. Does this start October 1st or does this start next? I was told very clearly last Tuesday, this takes effect technically as of last Tuesday, meaning the next check, which is going to be cut in the first week of August, will be for the new amount. As we sit here right now, this is a done deal, folks. As we sit here right now, I'm getting a $5,000 check first week of August.
What have you done to earn $5,000
I'm sorry,
yet?
excuse me. The mayor has already sent an email regarding having a special meeting just for this, before this all started. So he has sent out for a special meeting in order to bring it back before it was voted on.
Since there will not be public discussion on the reconsideration, do I have the floor, or who has the floor right now?
You got it. Go ahead.
I'm not the chair of the meeting, so.
You can speak, Councilman.
Very good. All right. So breaking news, a politician makes a promise, okay? So, headlines right there all over the place, right? Who here, we'll do the show of hands thing. Who thinks that being a Tree City, USA increases your home value? Raise show of hands. All right. How you doing? I'm your chair, okay? I'm the chair of the tree board. So that happens quietly, really, really quietly. I started out with 2 board members. I now have 3, so I've got an option for one of them. It's not a heavy lift, however, it is a detailed lift, and I couldn't do it without the manager. I definitely couldn't do it without Robert Ruano, our grant writer. I can't really do anything up here, honestly, on my own, to be perfectly honest. I can't do almost anything without the clerk. Definitely need the attorney. And so the thing that encouraged me as I came on to this council as a novice was that, oh, I'm my own person. I'm sitting in my own seat. I get to say whatever I want. And that was very encouraging to me. It gave me hope for our country as a whole and the way we run our government, right? So over the years, it's been now, I think I'm in my 6th or 7th year. I'm in my 3rd or 4th cycle. It's been interesting to see how things happen kind of quietly. It is true that we don't get a crowd like this unless there's some, hot button issue. But I will say that in the previous administration under Mayor Cubillos, there was almost nobody ever in this room because of, unfortunately, what you guys have experienced tonight. What you've experienced tonight was the norm. It was every meeting was 3 hours. Now, I was going to bring my 2 sons to the meeting because my wife is out of town with my daughters, and it was going to be a 15-minute meeting to vote on the millage rate, right? So I wouldn't need a babysitter. They could sit quietly for at least a little bit before, they'd be causing problems. But once this all popped up, I had to get a babysitter, and I was like, this is gonna be 3 hours at least, and here we are. And so I will caution the mayor, who would do consider a friend, that we are down a path of where we used to be, and this is not good at all. This is not good at all because regardless of intentions, as a writer, I will tell you, okay, so part of the reason I have a 25-year career in hospitality is because I'm a writer, all right? So as a writer, I do a lot of self-editing. All right, a lot of self-editing. I like to have it as tight as possible before I would ever send it to an actual editor, right? And so when you're editing, what I've found in a mantra I keep in my head constantly is no explanation necessary. Meaning, if you find yourself having to go down a path of massive explanation, you're not saying it right. You are not saying it right. And if you have an audience who's reading what you're writing and they get lost in some tangent, and I'm really good at tangents. I'm the best, honestly. I always bring it back. Always comes back for a sloker, but you got to go for a ride with me to get there. Or you can sit right back where I started and just wait for me to get back there again. But one way or another, I'm going on tangents. And so that's what I have to edit as a writer, is how many tangents I go off on. Because the reader's only going to go with you so far before they're like, screw this. So what I noticed tonight was it took a 25-minute explanation from the mayor, took a 20-minute explanation from Councilperson Winters. Right there, that's red flag central in my book. And so massive red flags, unbelievably large red flags is what I'm seeing in that action. And so
We have a motion and a second.
and so I will say this. The original proposal of 49, 27, 10, 10, 10 I was reticent against voting yes on that. I'm sitting here thinking, we're midterm. Let's spend the next year discussing this. That's how things work in government, especially when it comes to things like this. Let's spend the next year discussing this. That way, next budget season, next September, we come back here, we've got a new cycle prepared, we've got a firm grasp of what our budget really is. We've had information from the CFO over a period of months to help guide us on where we should be at, because the CFO is going to give us data on, okay, this is where municipalities of this size and that size are, right? Now, when it comes to work, not work or no work, it's entertaining to me on one level, frustrating on another. But I offered my seat to Mr. Winters. He used to come to meetings, and he would ask reasonable questions, and I thought, okay, all right, here's someone who would hold some responsibility and understands things, right? Now, I hadn't really had any conversations with him too much, and when I approached him to say, hey, you know, I'm considering not running anymore, would you be interested in my seat? Because there's not many people who are interested in things like this. We had a phone conversation. At the end of that phone conversation, I demanded he come to my house and meet me in person. At the end of that conversation, I got my 20-foot pole out and thought, what the heck is this guy?
Was that
All
before
right?
or after you smoked a bowl next to me?
And so, yeah, I have complex PTSD and I smoke marijuana. So, insanity. So, guys, let me explain something. I got 4 kids. I got 2 bank accounts right now, both with less than $100 in them till the 31st. All right? Now, it's not your problem. It's my problem, right? Okay? It's not your problem. It's my problem. I chose to have the 4 kids, well, 3 of them. And so listen. The 10-10-10-27-49, I was considering it. But at the same time, I wanted to hear what the CFO was going to be telling us. We have a year. There is no hurry on this thing at all. Do we need a raise? Maybe. This is a volunteer position. It is a part-time position. Now, the actual physical work of me sitting down and looking at things is not as many hours as would make someone think, oh, I'll never do that. But you do think about it all day, every day. I'm driving in traffic, I'm driving around, and you're just constantly thinking about issues in the village all the time. So there's that. There is that. It does invade your life that way, you know, even for a part-time thing. The public affairs budget is interesting that everybody brought it up, because we had 2 commentators last Tuesday. Both of them said this money would be better served being put into the manager's discretion, because let me explain something to you. The mayor networks for our village like nobody I've ever seen, all right? That is real. That is very, very real. Our mayor networks for us like other people won't. Will never, all right? So, yes, truly, all right? He finds us money from all kinds of places, state, county, federal, grants, okay? So he finds us money to go beyond and be able to do things, all right? The mayor, in my opinion, is largely responsible for the phenomenal police force that we do have right now. Can it be better? Always, right? And we're actually in negotiations, collective bargaining at the moment, you know, trying to get those things settled out so that our police officers feel good to come in and do this difficult job every day, because it is definitely a thankless job. I'll be the first to say that. The chief knows very well that I've had an animosity of a relationship with law enforcement myself in the past, and we speak frequently about that. I am very grateful for the chief that we have and for the leadership that he brings to this village and for the way that our police officers conduct themselves. It's refreshing, especially in Miami-Dade County. So, the proposed raise of 49, 27, 10, 10, 10. I'm sitting here thinking, okay, let's find out if those are real, reasonable numbers. Let's spend the next year figuring this out, because we have other things going on. We have other things going on that need our attention. And then we can have it all set up for the new cycle. And I was thinking, yeah, that might actually encourage more people to come out and run. Let me explain to you what I could do with the 67 absurd number, okay? I can move to another state, buy a house there, not get a job, and I can fly back here once, twice a month. Town halls, events, I come from that industry. I can do that in my sleep if it's a requirement just to do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What's 5 times 4? 20, okay? So do you guys want to go to 20 town halls a year? No, so we're going to end up inventing reasons just to have the town hall, just to justify the salary, when we could have just taken all that money and put $335,000 into a public affairs budget. Okay, or give the manager the support she needs in the form of an actual assistant manager, not a clerical person, an assistant manager, someone who has skills. Okay? So the manager and I have had our issues in the past as well, stemming mostly from the FEMA thing and trying to sort out who was who and what was going on with Mayor Cubillos. I'm not going to not say names, all right? Mayor Cubillos is who we're talking about, all right? So I had to figure out where the manager was in all of that. And we've been through it. And I got to tell you, she does massive work. Guys, she works, all right? There is a backlog of things for her to do for a while yet, all right? I don't need, listen. I don't want to earn my money that way. I'll be honest, it's even a little bit emasculating even looking at this. As a man, I work... Work smarter, not harder, right? I'm learning that in life because I worked hard when I was young. Hard, with nothing to show for it, all right? I got time. I'm 46. I'm figuring it out. Don't even worry about it, all right? I got my real estate license. I work with developers now, all right? I'm going to figure this thing out. Don't even worry about it. But let me explain something to you. You pay me $67,000 a year for sitting here and doing this? I can move to another state, still do this job, and not have to work there. That's crazy. That's crazy town. Crazy town. What? I could buy a house in another state and live there and not get a job there and just come here every now and then on vacation in Miami. All I got to do is not sell this place just to have the justification to be a resident so I can be on the council. So I'll be honest. I don't know what the mayor was thinking on that third yes vote. I really don't. Because to me, now, I was a novice as far as politics or being a lawyer coming into this thing, but I am a political junkie, make no mistake. I'm more well-read than almost anybody I know. I read everything. When I read news articles, I'm trying to figure out what they're saying about the topic, not what the information is, because I've already listened to the committee meeting from Congress. I've already listened to the subcommittee meeting. I've already listened to the statements. I've already read the drafts. When I read the news, I'm figuring out who's saying what about what. I'm not looking for information. Every single news app I have in my phone is listed under entertainment. I have an entertainment category on my phone. That's where my news goes. All right? So, this proposal on its face is insane. Insanity. I don't know where the mayor's head was at when that third yes vote came out. I understand that there was some confusion from Dr. Lightfoot Ward because there was but only a few minutes discussion on this because I don't think any of us really thought, we're like, let's just get the no vote out of the way and we can actually talk about the other thing. But I think Dr. Lightfoot Ward heard 6,700, not 67,000, and was thinking, oh, that's less than the original proposal. Okay, great. Because there wasn't but a few minutes discussion on it, to be perfectly honest. I didn't bring up a whole stink because I was like, my favorite joke is from Mitch Hedberg. When you play golf and you hit a ball towards people, you're supposed to say 4. Right? This is how it starts. He says, I never hit a hole-in-one in golf, but I did hit a guy, which is way more satisfying, he said, right? Now in golf, when you hit a ball towards someone, you're supposed to yell 4, but I was too busy mumbling, there ain't no way it's going to hit him, all right? So I feel like last week I was mumbling to myself, there ain't no way it's going to pass. And then looked up on the third yes vote, like, what just happened? And so there are many things that we do as council people. Many things that are not seen and they're kind of quiet and innocuous, all right? But this concept of getting a stick the size of a bat out to start smashing people over the head with it and threatening them with, not getting whatever money. So I'll take this bet, by the way, because the money's on the table. Dude,
as long as the money is inside of the salary.
So understand the amount of stipulations that are attached to this thing. That's the other part. All these all these stipulations that were discussed last week and went through ad nauseum tonight, those stipulations alone, in my opinion, would require almost a year to get through finally hashing out and discussing what the proper thing to do is. Look, I'm from Topeka, Kansas, okay? It's an interesting place. It's a very interesting place because it's geographically central. I didn't realize this till I was a little bit older, but Goodyear Global Headquarters is in Topeka, Kansas. Volume Shoe, known as Payless Shoe Source, Topeka, Kansas. Jostens Printing and Publishing, Topeka, Kansas. Frito-Lay, Topeka, Kansas. Mars, Topeka, Kansas, all right? It's centrally located for distribution. So I grew up in an environment where janitors' kids were going to school with senior vice president's children, okay? I've seen it all, and I wear this costume around all day, every day. I'm invited everywhere. There's not a door on this planet that's closed to me. Not a door on this planet that's closed to me. I've been invited to all the meetings. That's how I know Elon Musk saluted Hitler. I saluted Hitler as a teenager, okay? I grew up with hardcore white supremacists. You can't escape it but by choice. And you get to a certain point in your life where you face facts or you don't. And when you understand harm that can be caused, right? And then you walk away from that. And then I realized I should never have walked away from it. I should have been fighting it from day one, because here I am fighting it 30 years later. I walked away from it 30 years ago, and here I am about to go to the streets and fight again, all right? Absolutely willing to, 100%. You'll see me in the streets. My guess is before December. $67,000 a year for the councilpersons of El Portal will never be justified. There is no justification for this amount. It's crazy. I don't know why the mayor chose political suicide. I've witnessed political suicide a lot in my life. I don't know why. But you guys know.
Any other questions or comments from the council?
Madam Clerk, we have a motion and second on the floor, and we have not.
Yeah. Any other questions or comments from the council? Hearing, seeing none. Madam Clerk, is that roll call?
Wait, we're just.
Go.
Oh, are you planning to?
Yeah, I thought you were going to go.
No, I was just saying that a legislator's job is to pass laws, not to throw events. If you do want quality events, there's a way that you can explore partnership with organizations that are doing exactly what you enumerated on that list. That might be a more cost-effective way of where you want to go. And there are no bridges burnt. We're still a body, and I hope we can move forward successfully from this meeting.
So I will repeat what it was. 10% of pay for every missed meeting. This means when someone does not show up here, you lose 10%. If there's 3 meetings per month, you lost 30%. Quarterly, you're required to do activities, but these activities are required to minimum 1 town hall. We're not saying 5 town halls for people per quarter, minimum 1 town halls. And then community forward engagement events or community forward thinking possibilities. We're not saying, you know, all these things I came up with about doing events that are just for fun. We're not saying any of that. But, you know, I want everyone to know that I'm not going to talk any further. I just, right now, okay, hey, excuse me. You guys rather listen to the white supremacists over here rather than myself? Seriously, he just admitted to it, and you guys are saying this to me. Please. Yes, you think he's changed. When he smoked a bowl next to me when I wanted to run for office, and he told me the secrets behind him, he didn't say 10 feet.
And I smoke pot.
There was no 10-feet pole. In fact, we found another person to take his place because I told him in front of him that I was not going to run for his position. I had someone else, and he met with them and myself. Am I correct?
Yeah, you kept trying to bring a voting block on the council. I met with several people, yes.
Mr. Mayor, hold on. Mr. Mayor, we have a motion on the floor with a second. We're ready to vote. My motion on the floor said we move to consider item 5 from the meeting in July 2nd. It was motioned by my colleague here, Urban. We need a vote. We need to go on with this, Madam Clerk.
1 second. We made the motion. We have a second. We've been ready to vote, and people on the council have spoken. So I can't all of a sudden say somebody from the council can't speak. I have to cut them off for a vote when I allow others to speak after the motion was made. I can't do that, you guys. Councilperson Winters, if you could please wrap it up, please.
I was finished, thank you.
Thank you very much. And so we're about to vote right now. The only thing I would say is this, you guys. And this is more of a procedural thing, just like my experience by being mayor. And we're going to vote. You know, I know which way I'm going to vote. And so we're going to do it. But I think that what we're doing right now, I think it could be done cleaner at the meeting that I already was going to do in August. I think it was August 12th. I was already planning that special meeting. The only reason why I say is this.
Will there be a check cut before then?
No. And that's why I said it wouldn't be. But the only reason why I'm saying that is this. You know, when the flyer went out and all that, there was kind of like a sense of, you know, things weren't done kind of transparently for the last vote, even though it was on the agenda, or whatever. Like, you know, there was a whole kind of thought about like it wasn't done transparently. What's happening now, everybody loves because it's in the favor that you wanted, but you have to be careful about that, setting that precedent. Because if you do something in the favor that you wanted, and it's really not transparent, then somebody else in the future can do something in a way that is not transparent that you hate, because you're setting a precedent. Now, if you guys complain, not you guys, but if the flyer complained that kind of like it was done, you know, the residents didn't have any warning about it. This is the past meeting, right, where it was on the agenda, right, municipal pay or whatever. The residents didn't have any, you know, the residents weren't told about it, whatever. If that's the case, today it's not even on the agenda. So if that wasn't transparent, then what's today? So we're going to do it, and we can do it, but just be careful about things like this and take the emotion out of it and just put like the logical thought in, the logical thought pattern in it, where it's like long term, like this might work for me today, but what happens a year from now when there's something you disagree with, it's not on the agenda, and it passes. And you're like, that wasn't even on the agenda.
Mr. Mayor.
That's real not, you know, not transparent.
Mr. Mayor.
So that's the only thing I'd be careful. We're going to take a vote, Councilperson Urban, but what I'm saying is, just from a procedural standpoint, just kind of keep that in mind.
What was on that agenda, there was no numbers, by the way. There were no numbers printed on that agenda. The 49, 27, 10, 10, 10 was not printed anywhere. But people through the grapevine understood that to be the case. That's how I learned about it. And nobody, except for maybe one person who was very well prepared, and it remains to be seen how well prepared maybe someone else was, nobody outside of that one or two people thought that that number was going to move from 10 to 67. That was not in the realm or scope of something that we would be considered to be possible headed into that meeting. And what you're saying right now, I will caution you, is a gaslighting statement.
Councilperson Urban, with all due respect, we've had no problems. It was right there in the resolution as part of the agenda supplemental documents. It's right there in the whereas. The numbers were right there in the whereas. If you didn't read the resolutions, then it was right. The original, my point is the original numbers, not the 67,000, the original numbers were right there in the whereas. My point is that the subject matter of municipal pay was at least on the agenda. There was a resolution. My point is that it's perfectly fine, and we've had a motion in a second, but my point is that we're setting a new precedent. All right? A new precedent, okay? All right, just letting you guys know that. That's all I want to say. Madam Clerk, can we go ahead?
Roll call. Councilperson Winters.
Yes.
Councilperson Lightfoot Ward. Yes. Councilperson Erbaum.
Just to clarify, yes is for.
The motion to reconsider.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Vice Mayor Martin.
Yes.
Mayor Nickerson.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
All right, so August 12th, I had 2 days, August 12th or August 19th.
We're in recess during August.
Hold on. August 12th or August 19th. But that would be only to bring back a new idea. Right now where we're at with this motion to reconsider, we've now essentially brought this back to reconsider. So now at this point in time, the 67 is no longer in place. Okay? All right? So we're back to normal, essentially. All right, so we don't have to have a special meeting about this, but I'm having a special meeting regardless that we can discuss this if we want to, but there's other things that are pertinent, just like infrastructure stuff and things like that myself and the manager are working on, a roundabout on the west side and stuff like that we're gonna put, that it's just time sensitive and people are ready to start working and we just wanna kinda get those things going, so, all right. That's pretty much it, my brother. Hold on. Hold on. I understand, but we did about an hour of public comments before we closed it out. All right. Listen up. No problem.
Thank you,
I
Mr.
appreciate
Smith.
it. All right, you guys. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Vice Mayor Martin, and we have a second by Councilperson Erbaum. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Hearing none. The special council meeting for Tuesday, July 29th, 2025 is adjourned at 9:29 p.m. Thank you very much.